A PS5 price hike could be in store for the future. What does it mean? Sony reporting decreases in revenue, and things aren't looking good for the foreseeable year in gaming in general. And people are speculating whether or not that means there will be a PlayStation 5 price increase. I'm going to break down what exactly is happening, what comments were made or not made, and why people are saying that there might be a PS5 price hike or a PS5 price increase. I put everything right here at the beginning of the video. These are longer videos because it was a live stream, but I do a short summary right here at the beginning for our updates channel, and then that way you don't have to go searching for all the info. This is a Reforge update. The PS5 price increase rumors continue to swirl as there's a downturn in the industry and many folks thinking that the companies might start saying, hey, we're going to charge more for our consoles. Do I think there will be a PlayStation 5 price increase? Well, we're going to have to look at what everybody said, and then I'm going to give my own analyzation at the end. If you like these quick videos, hit subscribe and the bell button, and check out Reforge Gaming, where I stream live. GameSpot.com had the following to say. Sony's latest earnings briefing showed that Sony sold a further 2.5 million PS5 systems in the quarter that ended on June 30th, bringing the system's lifetime total to 21.7 million, and the 2.4 million PS5 sold were actually up 4% year over year. So hardware is moving, but that's not the only number that we need to look at. Quarter 4 was down for everyone. That's actually kind of normal. We recently reported on Microsoft and how their numbers were down, but that wasn't the alarming thing with Microsoft. It was the third-party engagement and money, but that wasn't something that Sony was immune to either. Total PlayStation game sales for the quarter dropped by 26%. PlayStation Plus subscribers fell to 47.3 million, which is down by 2%. Monthly active PSN users reached 102 million, which was down 3%. I don't know if any of that is related to when they did the conversion. People were confused. They weren't getting their stack benefits. They were losing what they thought were discounts. Sony went back and retroactively fixed all that, but it may have been bad PR enough to drive some people away from the subscription service. We'll have to monitor where that goes in the forthcoming quarters. Now, this led to speculation about price increase, which they essentially gave no comment on. Part of the earnings briefing, Sony management declined to comment on the possibility of raising the price of the PlayStation 5 due to the ongoing chip shortages and other factors. This obviously is related to other things that they're doing in the industry. Sony doesn't just make the PlayStation. This was not something they hadn't done. According to GameSpot, they recently raised prices in Japan for some of the devices that they sell, like headphones, speakers, and cameras. Now, some of this could be getting lost in translation or just basic corporate speak. According to VGC's translation, comments made by the CFO, Hiroki Totoki, Sony is not prepared to comment on the possibility of a price hike. Here's the direct quote that, keep in mind, has been translated. About a potential price increase for the PS5 at this point in time, there is nothing specific I can share with you about prices. Game sales decline is something that they're predicting is ahead as well. Looking ahead, Sony said it is sticking with its previously announced forecast of 18 million PS5 shipments during the current fiscal year. However, due to current conditions, they updated the sales guidance for the PlayStation business will be actually down by 16%. Microsoft also is foreseeing their next quarter being a downward turn as well. This could be related to the economy. It could be related to things that are completely unrelated to video games, but also the big buyouts both of these companies are doing could be playing a factor. According to Reuters, this downturn was attributed to an expected fall in game sales from third-party studios, along with costs related to Sony's deal to buy Bungie for $3.6 billion. This could also be related to some of the things we saw with Microsoft. They're also doing buyouts as well. Now, no comment makes sense, but it's also could be a cause for concern. Why wouldn't you just say, no, we're not doing that? Maybe they're not allowed. Maybe they always have to leave that possibility open with just market realities that they can't always foresee. I think a price hike is unlikely. I believe that would expedite problems. Every time they sell PS5s, they have a huge boost in first-party sales. They don't want to create any barriers of selling PlayStation 5s as fast as possible. Consoles, I believe, are viewed quite a bit differently than peripherals like headphones and speakers and things like that. People generally think a console's price is locked in. So that's sort of my prediction, is that this will likely not be something they want to do, as it would increase some of their losses. I think they're really going to want to rely on those first-party sales that always do so well after there is a PS5 surge of sales. And they are wanting to ramp up production, and those numbers should go up in tandem. Every time they can increase production of the PS5, their first-party content will do very well. It's the third-party content that's probably a concern, but both consoles seem to be struggling with third-party monetization at the moment. We're not really sure where that's headed for either platform, as a downturn in video game sales seems to be on the horizon. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to check out Reforge Gaming, where I stream live. Hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I am sorry for the incredibly late start. I'm having a hard time with getting back really late sometimes. We jammed in a family trip, and we got back so late last night, and then you got to get the kids to bed, you got to get the car unloaded, and I had to do all of my show prep this morning. So we're only doing 2 shows. We were going to do 3. I think we're just going to kick the Gotham Knights thing to tomorrow. We'll do our own breakdown then. We're going to be doing this discussion and then taking a look at Dr. Disrespect's new game, Dead Drop. We've got great footage from a community member, Paul, uploaded a video, and his video is actually doing quite well. And so we are going to be taking a look at that and analyzing it, breaking it down. So I am sorry about that. We've been trying to start closer and closer to 9. I've been trying to start pretty regularly at 9:10. That sort of, emulates the 10-minute intro that we used to do, and we don't do a 10-minute intro anymore. But it's that trap of, like, when you're at a relative's house and you're like, oh yeah, we'll see you guys later, and you forget that you have a 3-hour drive ahead of you, and then you got to unload the car, and then you got to put the kids to bed, and it's like, I went to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and my daughter's sleeping in my room, so I don't get any sleep at all. Every time she, like, tosses or turns on the air mattress, I wake up. And sorry, Discord, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Discord. Thank you for drawing my attention to that, Hilly. So, guys, go through that ritual, hit the live chat. Make sure you're in live chat. Make sure you're smashing the like button. I hope you had a great weekend. Consider doing all of the things that help out the channel. Become a member, gift a member, order some coffee. We launched merchandise on reforgeroast.com. We have mugs and shirts. If you like the Reforge brand and you want to get a Team Light mug or a Team Dark mug, I'll get some of those very soon, so I have them in hand to show those off to you. So thank you so much, anybody who buys any of the merch. Sounds like you need some Rageless Roast. I have some right here. Or Reforge Roast. Reforge Roast. Yeah, that's the old name. Everything's Reforge now. Oh, man. It's right where it needs to be. In my hand. And now in my mouth. That's what you need to be doing with your Reforge Roast. Guys, thank you so much for your patience this morning. I saw there was already some debates breaking out in chat this morning. Listen, you know what's funny to me about people that want to turn this into like Lono's a Sony fanboy and he won't talk bad about Sony and he only talks bad about Microsoft? They clearly didn't watch the Xbox Game Pass stream from the other day. Like, I had people leaving comments and I'm like, it's so clear you didn't watch the video. You think I'm just bashing on Microsoft. I was pinpointing one particular data point. Sony's going through the exact same thing. They had a decrease in revenue, and they're projecting that there's a decline in video game sales for the foreseeable future. This is not something that is only happening to Microsoft. I think Sony's approach, though, I honestly think, economically speaking, it will help them weather this storm. They can rely on those first-party game sales. Those first-party game sales, again, they tend to spike every time they saturate the market with PS5s. That's going to be something that's going to be very, very lucrative for them. The dilemma, if we're all saying that, like, oh, hey, game sales are down, projections are down, that's something to be considered with Microsoft's format of wanting to go towards a subscription model where they're not selling games, they're selling a service. One strategy may be more lucrative and successful than another, right? Yo, what's good, Feed? Good to see you in the chat. Lack of PS5s is hurting first-party and maybe third-party sales as well. Right. Until they can actually get production up and running, like every time you're looking for a PS5 restock, if that becomes less frequent and they're just more commonly available, then we really want to start looking at the numbers. We literally might still be living under the shadow of the chipset shortage where they're like, listen, we just can't create enough. It's affecting all of our projections. A lot of people thought we were going to be out from underneath the chip shortages like early this year, and then it got pushed, and then it got pushed, and then it got pushed. So it just doesn't seem like there's a clear line out of the forest yet. Doesn't matter, Lono. Consumers don't give a singular blank about the economics of anything when it comes to corporations or businesses in general. Right, but that's what I'm saying, though, Disorders. That's what I'm commentating on. So if you're going to go to my comments and be like, oh, you're just bashing Microsoft, I had so many people that are like, I hope you bring the same energy. Sony's also reporting their numbers are down. It's like, okay, you didn't watch the video. I wasn't like throwing confetti in the air and celebrating like Microsoft had a decrease in revenue. Everybody had a decrease in revenue. That's not what the video was about. Like, people are so quick to be defensive about their given platform and just presume that I am bashing one platform over another. That's not how I run my content. That's never been how I've run my content. I don't understand how there were people in my comments that have like followed me for years. I'm like, I've never run my content this way. I've never been against one side or the other. It's like I literally spent almost 3 hours in the Microsoft, boxing ring, never once taken a cheap shot, always being like, this could be a trend, this could be a blip. With respect to Sony's format, Sony has a completely different approach to how they do this. They seem to be wanting to ramp up PS5 saturation because distribution of the PS5 is directly related to them selling first-party titles. That's not even true of Microsoft. Their approach is completely different. They're not at all couching themselves in the same way. It's a totally different approach to how they're growing their revenue, how they're growing their margins. Yo, what's good, Bell? I don't know if he's here, but if he's here, I hope he speaks up and says something. This was the craziest, most random thing that has ever happened to me. On our way home last night, we stopped at a gas station, and I got recognized by a guy, and I recognized his username. He stopped me, and he was like, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, da-da-da-da. I'm like, dude, I actually get mad at people when they don't say something when they recognize me. I've had people tweet at me, and they're like, I recognized you at such and such, and I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, say something. It's just as cool for me as it is for you. It might be cooler for me. Like, it's a shot in the arm. It's a B12 shot. It's like, oh, that's awesome that somebody, recognized me and wanted to come up and say something. It was so random. He was very friendly. If he says something in chat, he was a longtime supporter on Purple. He says he hangs out here every day. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Just totally random. What are the odds, right? Because we almost never go into the gas station, too. It was like everything that lined up to make it happen. I forgot to get gas when we got food, so I was like, that's fine. We'll just do a quick stop. But then everybody had to go to the bathroom. We got little kids, right? So I'm like, all right, let's just get out and go in. And so the odds of it would be like, that's just never going to happen. You're never going to run into me in that gas station at that exit. It was pretty funny. Microsoft literally never has to make another first-party game to keep being successful. They don't need them. This is what's so funny to me. Every time we talk about this, right? Every time we talk about this, I just rang the doorbell. Don't make me knock. What are you talking about, Omega? Every time we talk about this, everyone wants to talk about Microsoft. Everyone wants to talk about Microsoft. We're not talking about Sony corporate versus Microsoft corporate. We're not. Like, that's not what we're talking about. Like, everybody wants to sneak in the gorilla in the arm wrestling fight between the two chimpanzees. It's like, no, you don't get to bring the big, giant, silverback gorilla into the room. You don't get to invoke Microsoft corporate in their earnings. You don't. No. Like, we're not invoking Sony corporate. We're talking gaming strategy. That's all we're talking about. That's all we're talking about. We are talking about the gaming division strategies, and both companies are saying there's about to be a downturn. Microsoft says Q1, yeah, we're going to see another decline in sales and decline in revenue. Sony's saying the same thing. Yeah, we've modified our projections. There's going to be a downturn in sales on the horizon. Some of this is related to chipset shortages. Some of this is related to economic realities that have nothing to do with gaming, but it's affecting everything. The argument is always Sony has all these great first-party games and Xbox is lacking, and they need to get some first-party out there where first-party titles are keck. They literally don't need any. No, that's not what I was saying. No, that's not what I was saying at all. I was saying that a PlayStation 5 price increase would be a threat to the first-party sales of Sony. So my point about PlayStation 5, okay, is that their structure and their approach is vastly different than Microsoft's. Microsoft simply cannot rely on first-party sales because they give them away. They're like, here, it's just on the subscription service. Sony cannot create a barrier between first-party sales because that's one of their main sources of very steady and healthy revenue. Every time the PS5 restock happens, every time it happens, they see a huge surge in their first-party game sales, okay? You can't disrupt that economic reality for PlayStation. So Sony has to be very careful. If they're like, oh man, we're seeing a downturn in game sales, we're seeing a downturn in this, chipset shortages aren't fixing themselves, we're having to wait or whatever, let's raise the price of the PS5. That could disrupt that economic reality for them. Microsoft is in a completely different ballpark. Microsoft's like, listen, get as many people as you can in the funnel. They are seeing a steady increase in Game Pass subscribers. They need the other things to coincide. Do you see how this is why when people talk about like Microsoft versus Sony, it's like their strategy and how they make their money is completely different. Like Microsoft is trying to get as many people in the Game Pass funnel as possible. That's all that matters to them. And if they manage to do that successfully and they're losing money on all other fronts, the gaming division will not be seen as a success unless there's other ways they're able to generate that revenue. Now, Sony is in a similar situation. They're seeing a downturn in sales. They're seeing that decline. They've got to respond accordingly as well. And if they raise the price, if we see a PS5 price increase, that's probably going to disrupt that. That's why I don't think we're going to see a PS5 price increase. We don't even have an announcement about a PS5 Pro. Announcing a price increase would go over like a lead balloon. People are like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You can't just raise the price of a console. That's not the same as when headphones or speakers are suddenly a little bit more expensive. Because you're talking about a price increase, it would have to be pretty significant to actually make a difference. Well, you raise it by $50, why bother? They'd have to raise it by probably about $100 in my mind. Firsthand, I can see the bottleneck in game sales. I'm sitting on almost $200 on game purchases that will not pull the trigger. And you won't pull the trigger on until you get a PS5. Right. So how many people, Derek, are just sitting there waiting, and then you get a PS5 and you're like, boom. Your anecdote is to agree with you. Yeah, there was a report that came out that every time the PS5s hit the market, they have a huge surge in first-party sales because there's a ton of people doing the exact same thing you're doing. They're like, I'm not going to buy these games until I have a PS5. I'm going to wait. Like, why would I do that? There's too many games that have been given a free update or have launched in a way that I know I'm going to get a better experience. Like, think about what God of War Ragnarok is going to do to that reality. There are people right now that skipped out on Horizon Forbidden West. They're like, I'm going to wait until I get a PS5. The cross-generational support is creating that reality. They're like, I'm just going to wait. The same thing's going to happen with Ragnarok. It's the last cross-generationally supported game. People are going to sit on the dadgum sidelines. That's hurting Sony's numbers right now. They saw losses as well. Like, everybody saw losses in Q4. That's totally normal. See, this is why the people that left me nasty comments on my Microsoft coverage is like, if you're not going to watch the stream and entertain the nuance and the argumentation and the back and forth, then you're not giving my content a fair shake. I outline everything. I break down all the possibilities. I think about all the possible realities. And we literally spent a significant time in that stream saying, I don't want a world where we only have Sony and Nintendo. I don't. That would be bad. I want Microsoft to start crushing it. I want Microsoft to get into the green. I want the Xbox game division to be hugely successful. I love my Game Pass. I do. I use it all the time. People just don't take the time. They literally see a thumbnail, get butthurt, and leave a comment. Like that's the depth of their intellectual engagement with the content. Distorted says, that's what I'm saying. PS and Xbox have completely different business models. Sony doesn't need all these services, and Xbox doesn't need a bunch of great first-party titles, regardless if they are pursuing those. Now, I'm going to push back on what you're saying, Distorted, in just a second. Eugene says they're expecting to sell another 18 million PS5s by the end of the year, bringing saturation almost 40 million. Jiminy. All right, I want to push back a little bit on what you are saying, Distorted. You're saying, and I think there's some valid reasoning here. You're saying Sony needs the first-party titles. They've built their economic structure on having killer first-party titles, right? It would make sense about their virtuous cycle commentary. It would make sense about their reinvestment in their first-party companies, right? Guerrilla grew, Insomniac grew. We don't know about Santa Monica yet, right? So more than likely, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have that level of reinvestment because that is integral to Sony's strategy. Now, to just jump on the other side and be like, well, Microsoft doesn't need good first-party titles. That's not what they need. They just need people on subscription service. I have two things I need to bring up that I think don't hold, that I think they hurt your argument. They bought Bethesda and they bought Blizzard Activision. That means they need good first-party titles. Like, we can't overlook that. They wrote a gigantic, humongous, Godzilla-sized fat check for Blizzard Activision. They can't be like, well, we don't really need good first-party titles. Are you kidding me? What? Yes, those titles need to be absolute bangers. They got to generate revenue so that in 15 years they break even on the deal. I further clarified my point in the Discord. Some concessions. That's not me saying they won't be successful in attempting those, just that they don't need them to be successful. I think they do need them to be successful. I think that they back themselves into the corner, man. Burn the ships. This is it. We're buying Bethesda, and we're buying quite literally 20% of the dadgum gaming market. When they buy Blizzard Activision, they're like, this is it. They absolutely need those titles to be successful when they come out. You're saying they don't need first-party titles to be successful. They own like 25% of the market. They need those titles. We think about this, chat. We need those titles to be successful. They're integral to the gaming economy. We can't have 25% of the gaming industry do poorly, right? Creature coming back in, renewing his membership. Where are my likes and where are my members? It's Monday morning. It's the first of a brand new month. Can I get 50 more likes? Let's get 200 likes before we were even live for 30 minutes. Let's have a strong out-of-the-cannon start to the week and to the day. I put on a show. I put on multiple shows a day all throughout the week. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, consider hitting subscribe. That is a great way to be able to talk into my chat, and you'll never miss out on my content. I'm safe for work. Multiple shows Monday through Friday. You can treat me like video game radio. Hit subscribe and I'll be in your feed all week. If you ever don't see me on your homepage, check your subscriptions page. And Abe coming in with 5 gifted members. Lisa, TJ, Brob, Duncan, and Wayne. If I said your name, say thank you to Abe. He just started off the day and the week strong with the first gifted member bomb. And D Dizzle is going to renew for a whole year. That is a 12-month milestone. He just hit his 12th month. That's amazing. Your badge should change color very soon. Matthew wants to go beyond a year, hits his 13-month milestone. Welcome back. Paul says add-on content is killing it right now. So PlayStation is seeing a good and steady increase in their add-on content. In 2019, they never cracked above, what is that? What are these numbers, though? The 2,000 add-on content includes microtransactions, DLC, in millions. So they never cracked above 2. And once they got into 2020, they cracked above a 2 a couple of times. And then 2021, it slowed down. Yeah, 2021, it slowed down a little bit, but their add-on content is climbing. It's looking very healthy. The question is like, is that what they want to see? Is that what they're hoping to see, right? Soy 2 Mangs renewing and hitting their second month. Xbox always wins. Welcome back. 12-month milestone for Distorted. He's putting Lono Bald in the chat. That's a great reason to become a member. You can use the Lono Bald emote. All the studios that Microsoft already owns that make games need to as well. Meta raised their VR headset price, so it is possible. Can you explain the Xbox fan dishonesty with first party? Game Pass is better than PS Plus because of first party day and date, but Xbox doesn't need first party. Yeah, like, yes. If you think Distorted's making a great point, thank you, YouTube Lurker, for pointing out the seeming contradiction. So apparently, Sony PlayStation Plus Premium was day and date. Hey, somebody ordered. Our first merchandise order has happened. A Team Light mug and a Reforge Gaming mug. Thank you for ordering 2 mugs. Silver Fang with our first Reforge Roast merch order of the day. Oh, did I get the emails? Talika actually is the first. Talika ordered a Reforge Gaming mug. I think she was the first. And then Silver Fang was the second. Talika beat you by 3 minutes. Talika's our first merchandise order. Thank you so much, Talika. Receipt of your payment to Printful. What? What is happening? Why am I... Receipt of your payment to Printful? What is happening, creature? Why am I paying Printful for these? What am I paying for? This doesn't seem right. I don't understand why I would be paying money. We went over this. Do not talk live. What? Okay. 7. Oh, I understand. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to have to... Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Because it's hitting Stripe and not PayPal. So I'm going to have to move. I'm going to have to move money. You're going to drain my PayPal. You're going to drain my PayPal. Because they're paying it and then I will get paid from Stripe. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough money in PayPal if we go crazy with merch. I need to make sure we're okay. Why wouldn't we just sync it all with Stripe? But okay. Okay, we're okay for now. We're okay for now. I don't need to move anything. Sorry, chat. I was like getting spooked. I was like, what the frick is going on? Why am I sending money to some company? Just pulling for separate balances. Yeah. We'll fix it. No worries. 9 months from Toasty. Guys, sorry about the disruption. We were really excited to sell some merchandise, and I forgot the name of the company that we're using, and I was like, why am I getting receipts from this company? Okay, Toasty, thank you for hitting a 9-month milestone. Appreciate it. I may be an Xbox fan, but I don't crap on Sony. I only ever point out that what I think is better on Xbox, but I don't technically ever dump on Sony other products. Okay, no, but I want to go back to the point that YouTube Lurker made. Like, if you guys think that that Distorted is making a good point, that, like, Microsoft doesn't need first-party titles, then why was I constantly told that, like, PS Plus was dead on arrival? Like, oh, if they're not going to do day and date with their first-party titles, it's a worthless subscription. Right? Like, you have to see that the way some of the Microsoft guys have argued in favor of Microsoft, you can't start eroding at that argumentation. oh, they're going to have all these great first parties. I, for one, okay, as someone who's pro Sony and pro Microsoft, I love them both. I said that what Microsoft was doing was ballsy. They were like, we need first-party titles for Game Pass. Just go buy 25% of the market, and they go buy Blizzard Activision. Now, the PS5 price increase that we're discussing the possibility of happening, that's something that's being considered because of economic realities that Sony is facing. Microsoft's going to face their own economic realities, that they have to have ROI on that purchase, correct? So Sony needs ROI on their properties, but in a different way. So Sony says, okay, we don't want to give away our first-party titles on PS Plus. We don't even do it on PS Plus Premium. We're going to give you trials, anything above $35, and we're going to take that virtuous cycle and say, hey, every time these games sell well and do well, we're going to reinvest that money back in the developers. That's like a running economic ecosystem within Sony. That's what they're doing. Microsoft, that's the big giant question. Where is the money going to come from to recoup the cost on the Blizzard Activision deal? Now, somebody might say that will come within the deal itself, right? Like Call of Duty and WoW will start making money, all the mobile properties will start making money, and eventually that number that they spent will get met, and then they'll surpass it, and then they'll be in the green. An entire year from ADJC. Thank you so much for hitting a 12-month milestone. Appreciate that very, very much. So this is why when someone says, oh, they don't need first-party titles, I'm like, brother, I don't know what the frick you're talking about. They 100% do need first-party titles. They literally just said we want to buy a bunch of first-party titles. To further clarify, I think Xbox could be even more successful with more first-party games, and PS could be better with more services, but they don't need to be successful in general. I think that their purchase of Blizzard Activision is a complete and utter refutation of what you're saying. They 100% need their first-party titles to be amazing and to be super successful. They dropped an absolute bucket of cash on that purchase. Like, you know what I mean? Now, keep in mind, I don't have any major company purchases in mind when I'm saying that. I think the Activision, Blizzard, and Bethesda companies will wind up paying for themselves. Right. But you think they'll pay for themselves if... they're successful as first-party titles. Right? That's first-party property. The only way they make the money back is it's got to be successful. Right? So, I think I understand what you're saying, Distorted. You're like, Sony has built their entire structure around first-party titles, and now they're kind of baking in subscription. They're baking in service, right? PS Plus, PS Plus Premium... You know, and every time we have a PS5 restock, you see all these first-party titles they just sell like absolute hotcakes. And that's great for Sony, that's great for PlayStation. You're saying, well, Microsoft is doing more service orientation. They're not really focused on the first parties. And to a certain extent, you might be right. Microsoft might be like, yeah, we brought Blizzard Activision, but a lot of those titles are going to be everywhere. We're going to be making money on Call of Duty on a Sony platform. We're going to be making money on titles that hit Nintendo. We're going to be making money on titles that are on mobile. We're going to be making money everywhere. Frick that. We don't need any of this stuff to be first-party exclusive. Why would you pay $70 billion if you're not interested in full-time exclusivity for full or some exclusivity? That's the big question, Julio. Or probably Julio. That's the big question. Stream isn't working, but chat is still going. Nobody else is complaining. That's probably a you problem, unfortunately. My view is basically outside of Sony and Microsoft acquisitions of other companies, simply because those are so unpredictable, I can't really speculate much surrounding those. I would say the fact that Microsoft wrote a check that big, it is 100% integral to their strategy, and it's 100% a part of their success going forward. They didn't get Microsoft to clear that purchase just like on a whim. They're like, no, this is how we become a profitable games division. Rogue Necro with 8 months. Welcome back, my friend. That's an 8-month milestone. Thank you for renewing, hitting your 8th month. PS subscription service lets me download Kitty Cat games. Thank you, PlayStation. There you go. Xbox can buy all the studios they want, but if the quality of the games is not going to improve, then what's the point? This is what I think is the best move for both companies. I think PlayStation just continues doing what they're doing with their first-party titles, and they can build an ecosystem of game trials and probably make a ton of money. Xbox, what they need to do is leave the companies they bought alone. Just leave them alone. Right? Restructure Blizzard Activision to get rid of the nasty guys and the dude bro culture. Do that. But leave them alone. Just let Blizzard Activision recoup your cost and then just start generating profit from you with all their projects. Right? Now, I could see once they get Blizzard Activision, they just start absolutely downsizing. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they start shuttering studios. Right? They're going to start shuttering studios because they're going to be like, let's listen, we bought it for this amount of money. Let's start shutting these studios down. Let's just get our operating costs down. That'll increase margins almost immediately. It wouldn't surprise me at all if once the ink is dry on the Blizzard Activision purchase, if within 6 months you see a number of studios close. Because they're going to be like, we don't want to keep you open. You don't make enough money. Bye. Like, they'll shut them down. That's probably going to be the case. They're going to let all the heavy hitters pull all the money in. Yo, life flows with a 9-month milestone. I think the meaning of the word need is what's in contention. They won't go out of business, but they certainly didn't plan on losing money on the investment. Right, they need those first parties to do well at a certain level. What I think is ultimately going to happen is seeing Xbox and PlayStation models looking more and more similar. They will eventually have the same business models and similar services. We can already see it. You know what? I think you're right, Distorted. And you know why I think you're right? I think Microsoft's going to get into the game trials. We've already got leaks about that. I think you're exactly right. I think in 3 years, game trials are incredibly common. Game trials are on subscription services. No doubt in my mind. It's just such a slam dunk of a strategy. You know what I mean? I 100% think that's what's going to happen. PS5 investment by business model. Live service. Yeah, you also have to consider, those of you that hate live service, PlayStation is looking by fiscal year 25 to have invested 55% of their business model into live service. Right now, it's somewhere between 12 and 49%. They want the end of fiscal year 2022 to have 49% of their budget invested into live service games. So Sony is adapting. They're saying, listen, we got to do this. Live service is coming. Live service is killer, right? We got to go. We got to get in on that. We got to get in on this. There's money to be made here. Let's do it. Let's 100% get in on this. This is going to be good for us. Was that a blip? I don't know. Nobody said anything and the viewership's not moved. Hey, we got a couple more orders coming in here. We got a black Reforge Gaming mug, a Team Dark mug, a Team Light mug. Yo, we are selling merch. What is happening? A Reforge Gaming black mug and a Best of Both Worlds coffee bundle all in one purchase. I love seeing that. You can buy coffee and merch all in one purchase. Taylor made. Thank you so much, Taylor, for doing that. I really, really appreciate that. I'm very, very excited. The only thing we're going to have to keep an eye on is that, I might just have to shuffle some moolah over there so that we're doing something with the merch to make it really, really streamlined for you, so you don't have to go to two different places. So thank you, Creature, for connecting all those dots. The fact that you guys can literally buy the coffee and the merch all in one spot, like, super dope. More like Whaler Made, because all you do is winning. Y'all a bunch of nerds getting excited over some trials. Why would you be against game trials? That would be the ultimate question, TJ Rage. What's the why a game trial culture would be phenomenal. You're on PS Plus Premium and Xbox Ultimate. I'm sorry, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So if you're on PS Plus Premium and you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you are never buying a game by accident or like regretting your purchase. No way. No way. Everything you buy, every game that you buy and own, you're not just playing these games as a part of the subscription service. You try it out, you buy it. How is that not a win? An absolute dunker for you as the gamer. I don't get how that could ever be bad. It feels cheap to me. I mean, okay, you can have a subjective response to it. Like, it feels cheap to me. Oh, okay. Like, I don't know what to say to that. Like, the companies, if Microsoft does the same thing that Sony is doing, and they invest in an infrastructure that allows you infrastructure that allows you to try a game before buying it, how is that cheap? They're investing in a better relationship with the consumer. Eknor with a 10 spot coming in. Thanks for using Super Chat to tip some money, Eknor. That's very generous of you. If you guys want to support the channel directly, do me a favor. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're here all week. I'm safe for work. A lot of people throw me on in the background like video game radio. The most direct way to support the channel is to do a membership like you're seeing people do. Darth Nihilus just renewed and hit his 8-month milestone. It's a tier 2. If we get 100 tier 2 members, I'll start uploading content just for tier 2 members and above. It's going to be me playing tough games. We're calling it like tiers for tier 2. I'm going to be shedding tears in tough games. Tough tiers for tier 2. Thanks Zubair for the name inspiration. But we need people to convert up to tier 2. You can also gift members. We had a ton of gifted members last month, and we love to see people jump back in. If you got a gifted membership last month and you want to continue to reap those benefits, we are 13 members away from 1,400. If we hit 1,500, my wife has to play Elden Ring. So again, she's already played it once, and we want to make her play it again. I think that would be amazing. Here is a Paperboy remake pitch. So I got a funny one for you guys today. I got a funny one for you guys today. Paperboy Gaming shorts. That'll work. Let's see. What do we got here? Say the thumbnail. 11 months from Bob. Thanks for hitting almost an entire year. That's an 11-month milestone for Bob. And he's a tier 2, another one of those tier 2 members. In case I ever came off as advocating for liking or expecting day-and-date releases, I'll clarify, since some people are do like those things. I don't support day-and-date for any game, says Distorted. Most investor influencers are saying to invest in Activision as the Microsoft deal is expected to go through this month. Interested to see what does that do for Game Pass. I did a 2-hour trial of Tiny Tina Wonderlands and decided to buy. I wouldn't have bought it if not for the trial, says Life Flows. How many tier 2s do we have? Let me tell you. I think we need like 30 more, I think. Memberships. See my members. Filter according to current level. How many tier 2s? We have 64. So we need 36. We need 36 tier 1s to bump up. And we'll hit it. We'll hit it. Let's see here. Gaming shorts. Paperboy. Is that even a game that you can put yourself in? Can you put yourself in the category? You can. You can put yourself in the category of Paperboy on YouTube. Hilarious. That's going to be our short shelf today. That's going to be our short shelf video. All right. Back to business. Is the trial culture going to be an incentive for dev to put the front end of the content in the first couple of hours? What if the gameplay loop takes a dive? MJ, I honestly think that's the most unlikely outcome. Right? The idea that, like, all these game companies are going to be like, make the first 3 to 4 hours amazing and then make everything else crap. I don't think that's a probable outcome. I really don't. Yo, Matthew Johnson says, okay, 36 more, I'll make it 35. Thank you, my friend, for upgrading to tier 2. You can get into the VIP room in the Discord. You can vote on games that my wife and I play on Friday nights. Anybody can suggest games. Any members, you can suggest games in the Discord, so please do that. If you've got games you think would be amazing, use that room. But Tier 2 members can vote, and they get access to the VIP room. They get guaranteed access on community game nights. They might get game codes, all that. People who dislike the trials idea, remember, they're only for games above a certain price, and games above that price range will likely be longer than the trial period. Yes, this isn't going to hurt indies because it's got to be $35 and up on PlayStation. PS Plus Premium, the PlayStation Plus Premium tier, you can only get game trials on games above $35. And some games can wait. They don't have to make their game available as a game trial. If you're selling your game for 40 or 50 bucks, you only have to offer the trial within like 90 days. So they might not even want to do it at the beginning, which I think would be a huge mistake. Did Stray releasing on PS Plus day one hurt its sales? It almost assuredly hurt its sales. The game went viral. It's the highest reviewed game on Steam for the year. It's in like the 49th position for highest reviewed game on Steam. It was one of the highest selling games for Steam when it came out. Yeah, it 100% hurt sales. But you would hope that Sony wrote a fat enough check that it doesn't matter. Chat, give this man likes. The more he gets, the more money Lono gets. Good afternoon. Well, I don't get paid according to likes. That's not true. But when we get a really, really good steady flow of likes, it does help the video perform well. We'll meet more people. I'm checking to see if we've sold any more Reforge Roast merchandise or Reforge Roast coffee. Thank you to anybody who's done that. I just want to make and check one thing. I just want to double check something. Making me a little nervous with all these wires getting connected in the back end. I do think it's not unlikely that the quality of a game's first bit is higher. That happens now. I just finished a game that reviewed well, and I liked it at first, but the entire second half was bad. I mean, like, broken bad. What game are you talking about? Yeah, we're going to have to adjust this, creature. The mugs are hitting stamps.com, which is then affecting the weight, which I suppose I can manually bring the weight down because I know that that's not a part of it. But like, this person just ordered 2 bags of coffee. That should be 24 ounces, and it's coming in at 3 pounds, 1.4 ounces. So we'll have to look at that. The mugs are hitting stamps. Like right now, it wants me to print a label. It wants me to print a label for somebody who just ordered mugs. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. We'll have to sort that out. Just putting that on your radar for later, like a talking point for our call later. I was worried. I was like, wait a minute. This is all seeming to be connected. You'll adjust and credit those affected? Okay. Because, I mean, I can just cancel the order and not ship it at Stamps, right? Yo, Rogue upgrading to Tier 3. Rogue's like, listen, people want to go to Tier 2. I'm going to go to Tier 3. Thank you, sir, so much. If you guys are enjoying this talk show today, give me 50 more likes. There's 453 people here. You can smash that like button and take us to 300, and it will help the video. If you're new and you've never been here before, hit subscribe so you can say good morning or hello in the chat. We appreciate you being here so much. And then hopefully I see you all throughout the week. I do so many shows. It's always safe for work. If you like video games, if you like listening to podcasts, it's the perfect mix here. I thought Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was the best Borderlands game to date, and they named it the wrong name. I think they should have named it Borderlands. I don't know. They should have named it Borderlands 4 or something. I don't know. Borderlands 3.9. I don't know. If you're not a Tier 3, what are you even doing? Hi, bro. What's good, Jay? Good to see you. What do you think about... I already answered that. It was the best. Should have been a DLC game. Shut up, Abe. Game Trials is only on over $35. Anno Mutation's not over $35. Yeah, Anno Mutation wouldn't be in the Trials thing, Derek, because it's an indie title. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. The thing is, okay, the thing you got to consider here, the thing you got to remember is, Derek is not saying that, like, oh, this is going to be a problem because this indie title did it. He's just saying that actually can happen in video games. The first half can be better, and the back half can be bad, and it can get good reviews. The story for Wonderlands is stellar. The end game is among the worst in the series. You know what I think is the case, Smooth? I don't think they've ever had a good end game. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. I don't think Borderlands has ever had a good end game. I think it's always been bad. I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they've ever known what they're doing. Are my mugs okay? The mugs you're ordering is fine. Creature and I just have to handle logistics in the background. Like, it's telling me to print a label for your coffee, and it's including the mugs. It's telling me to print labels for mugs. Like, we're not shipping the mugs to you. We have a company handling that. So he just needs to figure out how to not have the mugs and merch hitting stamps. I'm not sure how he's going to do it because it's all one ordering system. They're fine. You got to charge a few extra cents on shipping. Oh, you got charged a few extra cents on shipping. I tried so hard to get into that franchise. There's nothing there at the end. Distorted says, I'm sure PlayStation will not force games that are the same length or less than the trial period onto the trial. I'm sure they'll make exceptions. I think it'll be weird for a $40 or $50 game to come out and be less than 2 hours. You know what I mean? Borderlands 3 had the closest. Legit raid bosses, takedowns, trials, dedicated loot drops. Yeah, but I just feel like they're constantly reworking it. I don't think it ever landed, personally. I honestly really like Tiny Tina's endgame with the dungeon running. Pish posh. No $40 game is 2 hours. That's what I'm saying. All right, I got a question here for you guys. All right. Do you think that consoles can afford a price hike? Do you think that's even possible? I'm not even talking about PlayStation right now. The PS5 price increase may happen. We don't know. I think it's unlikely. I think it's unlikely that Xbox raises the prices of their consoles. I don't think so. But do you think that they can afford to do it? I don't think that they can. I think at this point in time, with the economic downturn, it would make things worse. It would do more harm than good, says Garrett. Yeah, I agree with that. 500 is max. It's a psychological limit. Nope, no price hike for any consoles. Why not? People are willing to pay scalper prices. Yeah, but I don't think... See, scalper prices are different, Dr. Dinglenut, because you're appealing to people who are desperate and are just sick of waiting. The general consumer and the general populace, like the way the market would react to a price increase, I don't think so. But watch the PS5 Pro versions be $250 more. So you think the PS5 Pro... and like the Xbox Series X Pro, whatever the heck they're going to name that one, you think they're going to raise the price by like $250? That seems crazy to me. Scalpers have already ruined the PS5 prices. Doubtful, look at the PS3 launch. Hey, somebody ordered 5 bags of Dark Roast. Silent Warrior just absolutely going massive. Holy moly. Thank you, sir. I think they could... if they go back to being a media center instead of a gaming console. So Bleep thinks that they have to rebrand as a media center to pull it off. They want people in their ecosystem. The fact that they're already selling the consoles at a loss shows that. I can see the Pros being $600, says Eugene. You think PS5 Pros are going to be $600? Sony should just release the PS5 Pro and sell it at a bit more expensive. You got to keep everybody stocked. Everyone forgets that Sony was going to sell the PS3 for $500. That was years ago. You think they can't go higher with the PS5? I just wonder if it's too late. They've already launched it at a price point. Do you know what I'm saying? Warrior needs coffee badly. Yeah, that Warrior does. Silent Warrior does. MetaQuest 2 is increasing $100 partly because they know that people will still buy it. Can it be argued that the PS5 is in such high demand that it wouldn't make a difference in sales? Yeah. No, I think you could argue that, Siege. Do you honestly think, like, let's just entertain the thought experiment. If there's a PS5 price hike, do you honestly think they'd sit on the shelves? I don't think they would. Like, I'm not saying they're going to. I think they could. These are different questions. I'm saying, do you think they could afford to do it? Isn't the same as do you think they will do it? I think a PS5 price increase would do absolutely nothing to demand initially. I think once they started saturating the market and they were easy to get your hands on, that's when it would probably start to hurt them. It would. People would be like, I don't want to pay that. I've been waiting all this time. That seems like you just raised the price. economically as distorted they can. The public view-wise and the fact that people go to the console for $500 when they can't get their hands on one, no. I don't think it would do a thing to demand initially. I think it would hurt it. I think it would hurt them later on. No chance the Pro versions would be a penny over $650, says Jake. So Jake thinks PS5 Pro isn't going higher than $650. People were paying scalper prices for over a year. People would pay a bit more MSRP, obviously. When do you think Nintendo's going to announce their next-gen console? I don't know if they're ever going to have a next-gen console. They're just going to announce a stronger Switch and they're going to package it with Breath of the Wild 2. I think Blizzard Activision held some of the most popular IPs of all time, and of course Microsoft intends to release games for those IPs as a console PC exclusive to help push Game Pass. I don't know. I don't know about that, Phoenix Prime. If this recession hits bad, yes, they will. Honestly, there's no reason to get a Series X or a PS5. The last gen is enough for most people. The demand for the consoles would completely disagree with you. They're doing incredibly well. They're selling great. The Xbox Series S is saturating the market probably faster than Microsoft wants it to. And the PS5s, are you kidding me? They're not slowing down. Like, the general public doesn't see it that way. And so if they did a PS5 price increase, if we saw a PlayStation 5 price increase, I don't think that people would stop buying them at all. You were looking at an earlier part of the stream responding to past Lono. Yeah, I was wondering why you were resurfacing that debate. I was like, what's happening right now? With the normal supply chain, Abe says, I could see them getting away with a price hike. But right now, people have been trying to get one since day one and have failed. It wouldn't be received well. Their best bet is to release a PS5 Pro and have that be around $600 to $650. Agreed, it would only hurt sales once availability is high. Remember supply and demand. That's what I needed. Thank you, Mama. That's perfectly fine. Oh, I was like 67. What? Yeah. The other stuff, the Metropolol, I just got that refilled recently. Okay. Thanks, Mama. I think if inflation and energy prices keep going up, PS5 price increase is very likely, says Hilly. Microsoft would take the hit as demand is much lower globally. Honestly, a price hike may be called for simply due to inflation rising. Late start? Yes, I had a very late start. We jammed in a family trip over the weekend, and I got in super freaking late. I had to do all my show prep this morning. We're gonna talk about Dr. Disrespect's game Dead Drop. Paul's got great footage that he captured and uploaded. His video is actually doing quite well, and we're gonna take a look at it and break it down. We were gonna look at the new Gotham Knights gameplay that's premiering today, but we'll just break that down tomorrow probably. We're gonna sandbag a little bit rather than do 3 shows. My company is doing the same thing, says Detective Seeds. If you want the product, you are going to have to pay for it to do business with us. Costs of raw materials are significantly different now. The sickie and being at home help feed the scalper market, says Suede. With price increases across the board, recession looming, etc., folks have less disposable money. Raising the price with no stock doesn't make sense. Maybe with the Pro, if they do it anytime soon. While y'all debate and speculate, I'm going to be gaming today. Yo, get it! I'm going to be a rich swag lord. Get it, dude. Shout out to Lono in the chat. Thank you, man, for being here. Thanks, everybody, smashing the like button and subscribe button. Nice to see you guys this Monday. Nice to see you. Good to see the subscriber number slowly going up, so we are meeting some new people today. Do me a favor and smash that like button. We only need 26 more likes. We only need 26 more likes to cross over that next milestone. We appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at the back end here. Nice peek at the back end is always nice. We're getting not so great search, but we're getting a lot of people suggested. So if you were watching a PlayStation 5 update that made you come over here or any of these other videos, we're 17, almost 18% of the people that have clicked on this video today have seen me on a suggest. 64% of you saw me on browse. That means a lot of you clicked this on a recommendation. If you're not subscribed, consider clicking subscribe if you're enjoying the show. That way you can be here all throughout the week for my coverage of all kinds of different gaming news topics. 18 million by the end of the fiscal year, so March of 23, says Eugene. Stocks coming. Yeah, the restocks are coming. That is true. Definitely told my coworker about the stream, so hopefully we add another subscriber to the group today. Player move notification. Yes. Yes. Good. Everything's turning out right for my daughter's soccer league that I'm going to be doing assistant coaching for. I'm going to be yelling. I might start coming in certain days of the week and not have a voice left, and it's because I've been yelling at little children, girls, 9-year-old girls, to play soccer better. It's going to be phenomenal. It's actually a very laid-back league. That's why we like it. A price hike makes no sense when you can't make enough product to meet demand. As far as a PS5 Pro, if they can't make enough of the basic PS5s, do you expect them to make more PS5 Pros? It's all a matter of when, Corey, but yes, I believe that both things could happen. I think the price hike is less likely than PS5 Pros releasing. Shoutcasting soccer, that's right. Tiffany just absolutely scuffing that one, needs to go back to the locker room and reconsider why she's even playing this game. And now Tina, on the return, wants to take it all the way to the outside corner, and she gets totally owned by my daughter. I'm just kidding. Kick the ball not that way, the other way. That's right. You're a part-time referee? Dope. You're going to spend your week yelling at children? How's it any different than interacting with chat? Love it. Love it. Do you think it's bad to keep getting closer to PC price range, says Enzian? Yeah, I think perception, yeah, maybe. But here's the thing, Enzian. They're blurring the line between console and PC anyway. Microsoft is definitely doing that. The PlayStation 5, I mean, a PS5 Pro, if we see a PlayStation 5 Pro in the next year or two, it's going to be even closer to PC parity. Like they're obviously not going to go crazy and completely change the architecture and hardware, but they're already really, really good systems. I start coaching my son's soccer team this month. I'm excited to yell at kids that aren't mine. That's right. I said it earlier as well as some others, says Suede. Hardware is typically sold at a loss. The tech aging over time brings costs down unless they are hemorrhaging money. This makes no sense. Slow news rumor mill, in my opinion. Right, if we analyze him saying no comment, right? By the way, we're an hour into the stream, and YouTube really encourages us to run ads every hour. We tried it last week. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's terrible. It barely made a dent in ad revenue, and it just hurts our numbers, and I don't think it's conducive to the live environment. So do me a favor, if you can, consider becoming a member. Give some members, do a tip, smash the like button, anything you can do. Every hour they're like telling us we should run ads. I want to show them there's another path forward for live streams and monetization. Nice to catch you. How's the show going? There he is. Guys. Von Raz is in chat right now. The most random encounter of my life. And I told him, because he was like, I'm sorry for, just coming up and interrupting or whatever. And I was like, I love it when people come up to me. I almost never get recognized in public. That's the third or the fourth time I've been recognized in public. And there was a fifth and a sixth time I got recognized in public. And instead of coming up to me, they tweeted at me. Like, I didn't want to come up to you. I'm like, come up to me. I love it. It's a huge treat for me. We almost would never have run into each other. We stopped and got food, and I forgot to get gas. So I ate my Chipotle on the road, and then I was like, all right, let's get some gas. And we almost never even go into the gas station. We just fill up and go. So the odds of us running into each other, it was amazing that it even happened, because I forgot to get gas, and then we wouldn't have needed to go in, right? We wouldn't have needed to go in because we had just gone to the bathroom. Everybody had gotten food from Chipotle. So, yeah, it was crazy. I told my wife, I said, the odds of that happening are so incredibly small. Number one, a random encounter at a gas station at an exit's already random enough, but the things that led up to it. So it was cool. It was definitely cool to run into somebody who knew me from the Purple days. He goes way back to even the Purple days. So I was pretty excited. So, Silent Warrior, thanks for the coffee order, and thanks for hitting a 12-month milestone, and thanks for doing a Tier 2. If we get 34 more people to upgrade to Tier 2, we're going to launch a whole new segment just for Tier 2 people and above. Your hair is super sleek. Oh, thank you. I've been trying to not just do the floop in the middle. I've been trying to raise it a little bit more on the sides, and I like it. I think it's a little bit more It's a more holistic hairstyle. I enjoy it. I forgot to get gas too. Was a great coincidence. No way! That's why you were there? You forgot to get gas too? Homie, there was a disturbance in the force that brought that event about. That's really, really cool. I'm going to drive to Louisville in hopes of a random encounter with Lono. I'm almost never out in the public, so if you run into me in the public, then it is, you have won the Lono lottery, because I don't go out that much. I'm here. I'm here! And then I'm planning the next day with Creature, and then I'm hanging out with my fam, so, yeah. Oh, anyway. The PS5 is already profitable, says Corey. Sony is not going to make a PS5 Pro until they can consistently ship the PS5 in a way that makes sense for consumers. Now, here's the thing you gotta understand. You gotta understand something, though, Corey. They more than likely already had the Pro planned. They're just adjusting timelines. Do you honestly think they're never... let me ask you this, Corey. Do you think they're never going to do a PS5 Pro, or you just think it's not anytime soon? Which is it? Are you like, nah, they're never going to do it, or you're like, they're not going to do it anytime soon? A 12-month milestone from Savage Shark Bike. Thanks for an entire year. Thanks for hitting that milestone. I was like, I need to stop because I'm not going to get home. It was meant to be. It was totally meant to be. It was. It was. He was rocking some long hair, too. Every once in a while, it makes me miss my long hair when I see people with good long hair. And he had some good long hair. The Pro's probably in development. That's what I'm saying. They're already getting that thing ready. Ganks with a $10 tip through Super Chat. I need you to plan to be outside touching grass for a chance at a random encounter next Monday when I'm back in Kentucky. Well, are you gonna be in Louisville, Ganks? I 100% will get, like, I will get a beer with somebody that I recognize. Like, if I know your name from chat and you're in Louisville, I will 100% come get a beer with you. I've done that before. I went and got a pizza with some guys, and then I went and got Mexican food with these two younger guys. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna be in town." Da 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 da. I was like, "Dude, let's go." And we met at the mall. We got some tacos. It was great. Christopher with a 12-month milestone. Welcome back. PSVR 2 is their focus for hardware, says Suede. I'm sure a Pro is on the roadmap, but not anytime soon. Corey says the same thing. Not anytime soon. I think the Sickie pushed the plan back by a year or two. What's the earliest you guys think we see a PS5 Pro? A PlayStation 5 Pro? When? Sony may be waiting for AMD's next development of their processing units and for the economy to stabilize. Do we need a Pro? I think they want to sell a Pro. You guys think late 2024, 2024? 18 months, says Abe. Yeah. This Christmas? No. I was thinking holiday 2024 is what I said the other day. You think next year, right? Some people are saying late 2023. I said holiday 2024 is what I said. Creature says, I think we'll see it late Christmas next year. Huh. Early 2025. Yeah, we got a lot of different predictions coming in. Yeah, I was saying late 2025. Eknor coming in with, what is that? $30? I have no idea what that is. Hang on, I actually want to do the math. I don't even know what this is. How much money is that? That's $23. It's Indian rupee. Thank you for $23, Eknor. That's a very, very kind super chat tip. Guys, let's hit 1,400 members today. Let's get some gifted members going. Let's get some gifteds going, and let's show YouTube how it's done. Let's show them how you monetize a live environment. Let's teach them some things. There it is. Ganks was ready. Ganks was ready. Like, even with stream delay, he knew. He was like, I got you, brother. 5 gifted memberships. I want to see Roz get a membership today. That's what I want to see. That's my goal. Okay? The guy I met at the gas station, I want to see him get one. Von Raz. I'm sorry, not Roz. Von Raz. I want to see that name get a gifted. It's got to be possible. He's hanging out. He's here. He's faithful. Brocky, Josh Eric, CT707 Wolf Trooper, David CB, and Conks. You guys all got a gifted membership. Thank you to Ganks. Say thank you, Ganks. Check Discord. I'll be in Lexington and Frankfurt. I'll be driving down Sunday morning if you have time. I'll treat you to dinner and a brew. Just let me know. I can't go out. I can't go out like that. You want me to drive all the way to Lexington or Frankfurt? That's a hike. You come into Louisville, I'd meet you 100%. No doubt. If you can swing it, it's really hard for me to do that. If I got to drive all that way, you know what I'm saying? My whole schedule would get thrown off. Wait. When? When is this? I'll be in Lexington, Frankfurt. I'll be driving down Sunday morning. If you have time, just let me know. It'd be tight on Sunday. My brother's going to be in town this weekend. Doe Devas is coming in and gifting some. Roman Lottie, Class for Life, Brady Schulenberg, VR Will, and A1 Chef. You guys all got a membership from Doe Devas. Make sure and say thank you to Doe Devas. Cardoc Ren says, I'll throw in on this action. Josh R., Cody Buster, Cadence, Sean Edwards, and Cincy Nismo all grabbed one. There it is. Hopefully Raz can actually, or Raz, I don't know how to say. It was Romanian Czar was his original name. That was his original name. I want to see Vaughn Raz. Hopefully, can you click? Is it letting you click allow gifts, Vaughn? Is it letting you do it? Savagery in chat, that's right. When does Sony go to $80 games? Not in this life cycle, no way. Lono's going to be out for every night for beers now. I'm going to get nothing accomplished. You just stop in Louisville and get Lono drunk. Yeah, man. He's starting at like noon every day now. It's terrible. I'll come to you. It's not a big deal. Should be in the state around 4. I don't plan on leaving for home till Monday night. Okay, if you are in Louisville midday Sunday, Ganks, I can probably swing it. It'd have to be quick though. I've got something with church around 6. We can hang out. We can chill for an hour. I'm in town next week. No, you're not, Hilly. Yo, Coyote jumping back in as a member, and Coyote's doing a tier 4. That's a big boy, right? That's a big membership right there. Hey man, I was finally able to snag a new GPU. I got an RTX 3080 since prices went down. Have you been able to get a new card? No, I have not. Some PS5s already cost $80 here. What? Oh, PS5 games already cost $80. Where are you, Canada? Does anyone here want to buy a PS5 Pro in 2023 or a Series X, 1X? No new game is pushing both consoles unless you consider ray tracing, which is overrated, he says. Yeah, I mean, I would want a PS5 Pro as a YouTuber. I don't know. There would have to be a tangible reason. If I was just a consumer and not a content creator, that'd be the question. I'll message you when I get in town. We can go from there. Okay. What do you think about consoles making themselves a dedicated streaming device like streamers do to lighten the load? Should be an easy added value with streamer culture. Wait, hang on. What do you think about consoles making themselves a dedicated streaming device like streamers do to lighten the load? You mean like daisy chaining? What would it be doing? Lono, are you going to be playing the remake of The Last of Us? Yes, but to completion, I don't know. I don't know where the channel will be when that comes out. Right now, gameplay does better than it used to on this channel, but 90% of the time I'm sitting here in this scene talking to the camera, and if I'm not doing that, most of the audience is like, I'm out. They might chill for day 1 just to see what the game is like, and then we meet a bunch of new people because everybody's searching for the game on day 1. After that, we lose people because they're like, listen, man, you got to be doing that talk show. PS3 over the PS5, don't at me. Okay, I won't. There's no justification to get a PS5 Pro, at least not currently. There's nothing really big that is being discussed and is as an addition. Here's the question, Nitro. Here's the question. So right now, we know, okay, we know that Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine will be the first, they will, hang on a second. Wow, what are you doing? I was like, why is the door slowly opening? No, No, you didn't scare me. I was like, why is the door slowly opening? Where did that even come from? My wife just like, I heard the door open, and so I looked and I was like, okay, what was that? Maybe one of the kids changed their mind. And then the door slowly opened, and my wife just popped out with this on and went, rah. Go up and just, that's enough. Madam be trolling. Stop it. I'm not, no, we have relatives in town. Stop that. I swear she gets more like, those of you that are married, you know when your significant other gets a little frisky, right? I swear she gets more like that when there's people in town. I'm like, what's going to happen? What are you going to do? Our daughter's on an air mattress in the bedroom. I was like, knock it off. Quit that. Yo, Table with 11-month milestone, almost a whole year. You the man. Welcome back. Ornery is the word. That dadgum door opened. I was like, what's happening? She was crawling on the ground. She was actually crawling on the ground. I love the idea of a PS5 Pro upgrade, but in reality, I've never seriously considered spending the money for a PS4 Pro, so it's hard not to be skeptical that I'd open the wallet for a PS5 Pro. Yeah, a PlayStation 5 Pro, what I was getting ready to say before my wife came down here and tried to scare me, what I was trying to say is that right now we don't know what they're attempting to do. Right? They've got Spider-Man 2 in development, you've got Wolverine in development. You clearly have things that they could be trying to do that are like, yo, we could do this on the Pro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying they're doing that. I'm just saying there's a possibility. There's a possibility. And that would be dependent upon what exactly they're experimenting with. Lono is shook up. Listen, if you guys are just tuning in, we've been discussing the PS5 price increase. Will there be a PlayStation 5 price increase? Will there be one? And a lot of people are saying no. A lot of people are saying it might happen. Would it hurt demand? Would it not? We've been kind of debating whether or not a PlayStation 5 Pro or a PS5 Pro would release anytime soon. And a lot of people are saying, I think 2024 holiday is the earliest. I had people saying next year holiday. I'm like, I don't know about that. There's no reason for anyone to purchase a Pro version. The regular PS5 isn't even being taxed to the max by anything right now. I actually have been saying that I don't agree with that. I think that Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok, I think they're close to the ceiling of what we're going to see from the PS5. That's what I think. I don't think they can go much higher than it. And when we looked at the stats for Spider-Man Remastered for PC, I think I'm right. Because you need a crazy strong PC. You need a PC that's stronger than the PS5 if you want to run like 4K 60 with ray tracing. So in my mind, if you need a PC that is stronger than the PS5 to run a remastered PlayStation 4 game, keep in mind, a remastered PlayStation 4 game, 4K 60 with ray tracing, and you need a system that's stronger than the PS5, I think the PS5 is pretty much at its ceiling already with Forbidden West and what we've seen from Ragnarok as far as graphical fidelity, lightings, frame rate, all of that. I don't think we're going to see much different. Like Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine, I don't think we're going to boot those games up and be like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than Forbidden West and Ragnarok. No, I don't think so. And then the PS5 Pro, that will be its selling point, is that they're like, oh, we'll be able to do the ray tracing 4K 60, or we'll be able to do the ray tracing with dynamic 4K 60, or whatever they call it. Like, but I don't know, man. That's my biggest thought. A lot of people think that they're going to learn all the tips and the tricks and the back, the backdoor backflips they can do to make and get more out of the PS5. And I'm like, I don't think so. Somebody made a really good point the other day. They said, the hardware in the PlayStation 5 is something that's been in circulation for long enough. Developers already know all the tricks that there are to be known. There's not going to be much of a change. I think that a PS5 only Horizon Forbidden West or God of War would have been completely eliminated pop-in and load times. It would mainly be quality of life. I think that's exactly right, Trill Troll. I think the needle that moves as companies get better at making games for the PlayStation 5, I think the needle that moves is a quality of life needle. I think that's what happens. Like, every game has instantaneous load. Every game has, like, zero pop-in and struggles with, like, large areas. Pro with a better processor and a large internal SSD. Yeah, a larger hard drive would be a selling point for sure. Which means the games will run at a more consistent 60. Yeah, if they give you a better processor and a larger internal... I don't know what the SSD being larger has to do with that, but the better processor probably would. If you're just joining us, that's what's being discussed right now. The PS5 price increase, or a PlayStation 5 price increase. What that means in relation to when they decide to launch a PS5 Pro or a PlayStation 5 Pro. What would that look like? What would people want to buy it? What are the dates when we think it would land? So thank you so much for tuning in. If you've never been here before, this is Reforge Gaming, a daily live channel. We're live every day with multiple shows, and I am safe for work. So make sure and hit subscribe. Make sure and hit the bell button. If I'm ever not on your homepage, okay, I'm going to be gone next week. We should probably start telling people about this and have Nightbot announce it. I'm going to be gone next week. And a lot of times when I take a break and then I come back, you guys are like, I didn't know you were live. If I'm not on your homepage, you should always check your sub feed, okay? You should always check your subscription feed. But next week, the 8th through the 12th, I will unfortunately be out of town again. I got my arm twisted on this one, chat. I did. I got my arm twisted. My siblings have not all been together in 6 years. It has been 6 years since all of the siblings have been together. And I lovingly got my arm twisted, and it's one of those things where I can't live in subservience to the business. I just can't. I lived my life that way for a really, really long time, right? I lived my life that way for a really long time, and you know, excuse me. All those sacrifices are good and sometimes necessary, but I'm not living my life that way anymore. And if it hurts us for a little bit and we got to kind of, bounce back and get momentum again, so be it. So be it. That's the choice I'm making. What's that rock on your finger? Oh, this is not a rock. It's a drive shaft ring from Lost. My wife got me for this for me for our anniversary because Charlie's one of my favorite characters because of how his redemption arc is so great. And I think people like redemption arcs, except, of course, if they live terminally online like Twitter. They don't believe in redemption. But I have, on my own redemption trajectory, she was like, I'm going to get you this ring because, it's a good reminder. Lono doesn't even know what a drive shaft is. Shut up. Just put a GoPro on your head and keep starting conversations about games. That's dope. This time 18 months ago, the drive I just bought for $100 was almost $200. I don't know why so many of you think SSD prices aren't dropping. Lost had a worse ending than Game of Thrones. I'm not taking that bait. Lovingly, like they dished out some tier 3 subs. What? What that? What are you saying? No. Yo, what's good, Helix? That's pretty dope. By the way, I would totally listen to your show on the road in an audio format. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I got him a drive shaft, the DS ring for Detective Seeds. It's okay to tell everyone now. My daughter says it stands for Doctor Strange because that's her favorite character. So she's like, she tells people, she's like, it means it's for Doctor Strange. I'm like, yeah, sure. I watched 3/4 of the Lost and then stopped. They're still on the island in my canon. They're still there. They never got off. 2 terabytes is not enough when games like Warzone can take up to 200 gigs. Well, but here's the thing with Warzone. That's not going to be the case going forward. They're going to shrink the install size of Call of Duty Warzone. It's one of the reasons that they need to do Warzone 2. It's one of the reasons none of your stuff's going to come over. They're literally going to build it in a new engine and leave behind all the spaghetti code of the old one. No doubt in my mind, right? Gonna suffer a while. An idea it could be. I clicked unsub immediately because I don't get notifications. Sometimes I wasn't sure. Might have freaked myself. This guy's saying, quick question. Every time I check your streams lately, I can't even say hi. Hope you've been well. Did this guy figure it out? Smiley? Smiley, are you here? Are you able to talk in chat? Did you sort it out? I don't think we banned anybody named Smiley. How many games like Warzone do people play, honestly? Well, but I think the concern would be that more games are going to go that way. They're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the concern. Right? Is Warzone going to become the norm? Am I going to be installing, 3 games into my hard drives full? Smiley was here at the start of the stream. Okay. Yeah, he DM'd me and he was like, I can't talk in the chat. Maybe he's on top chat or something and wasn't seeing people respond to him. Here's the thing. Third-party games need to start using Kraken decompression and start using Oodle Kraken decompression. That's why Sony games are smaller on PS5 than any other platform, says Corey. And then Eugene says game sizes are dropping because of advancements in SSDs and data. Did you change the chat setting back after the GTA stream? We didn't change the chat setting for the GTA stream. I threatened it. I said if it gets bad, I'm going to change it. And everybody stayed cool. Everybody stayed chill. Big Daddy walked in the room and I was like, listen, if y'all get out of line, I'm going to change this chat. And nobody got out of line. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, I got to talk like a dad, I got to tell people how it is. And it was chill. It was totally chill. It was actually a really, really good stream. I was kind of disappointed that the stream didn't pull numbers like during or after the fact. Like most people's coverage of that situation was either, completely and utterly overstated or they were trying to correct the narrative. Yeah, it didn't even turn a corner as a VOD. Like that thing should have pulled way better than it did. I was kind of irritated, but what are you going to do? A lot of GTA guys probably didn't even click on it because they were like, I don't want to hear it. It makes me sad. But it is what it is. I think we did great coverage. The fatherly instinct. I finally got my SSD expansion for the PS5. Now I'm a happy camper. What if game rentals become a thing again? I don't think game rentals are going to become a thing again. I think the PS Plus Premium, PlayStation Plus Premium is going to influence the market. Just write it down. Write it down. Gonna influence the market. The era of game trials, I believe is coming. I believe the era of game trials is 100% coming. That'll be more common. That you can try out the game for a couple hours, and if you want it, you can buy it. I'm dead serious. And here's the thing. You mean demos? No, I mean trials. Trials and demos are not the same thing. I'm not being pedantic and splitting hairs. There's a big difference between a demo and a trial. A demo is usually something that's sort of like sliced out of the game and it's set up in a certain way by the developer and they spend time building it and making it and piecing it together. Yeah, demos are basically like a vertical slice of the game. A trial is literally you install the entire game and you play it, and after so many hours, they're like, hey, you like this? Cool. Buy it. And if not, then you're done. And so you're literally playing the genuine article. You are playing the actual game. I think that era is coming. I think all the guys that bashed it when they were like, I can't believe PS Plus game trials is a thing, right? PS Plus Premium game trials. Ugh. It's like, yeah, just wait. Game Pass is going to do the same friggin' thing. Game Pass is going to do the same thing because they're going to start seeing like, that's good for money. That's good for conversion. That's coming. A trial is a horizontal slice. No, a trial is a time trial. Who was badging it? A lot of people. Look into the Sabrent. It doubles as a replacement for the drive cover and allows for better heat displacement, says Eugene. What's the trial on a first-party game for Sony? It depends on the game. What'd they give people for Forbidden West? Like 3 hours or something? It was pretty long. It was pretty long. They let you play a long time in Forbidden West before they blow the whistle. I'm not bashing trials. It's better than nothing. Yeah, there were people that were saying that trials should be free. Horizon Forbidden West is 5 hours. They let you play for 5 hours. Do you want to know? That's just, there is so much brilliance to that. There's a mountain of brilliance on there. That's so good as a structure. I love that. When the stream of new games turns into a fire hose, trials become more valuable. That's true. That's true. If the game can be completed in 3 hours, you can spend and run the whole game for free if you're quick enough. No, Ant. So the way that Sony is setting it up, you have to, the game has to be $35 or more. And keep in mind, they said 2 hours, and they're giving you 5 hours in Horizon Forbidden West. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's say you have like a $35, $39 game. They'll probably let you play it for an hour. They'll be like, it's a smaller game. You can play for an hour. You'll know in an hour if you want the rest of this. Like, you're not speed running a game like Eugene is saying. Like, your first time in a game, you're not going to speed run it. You don't know any of the tips, tricks, or anything. Now, you might be able to find a game, and some guy's got a speed running guide up on YouTube, and you download it as a trial, and you use his speed running guide, and you somehow manage to beat the game. That's not going to be a normative consumer experience at all. Like, the average person's going to download the game and try it out, and they're going to know within 45 minutes. Now, a game like Forbidden West, if it hooks you, you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you get 4 hours in, you're in, bro. You're buying that game if you make it that long. Think about the gamble there. Sony knows what they're doing. Give them 5 hours. 5 hours? What? Yeah, give them 5 hours. Why? Because anybody that actually hits that is buying the game. Anybody that hits that 5th hour, 4 hour, 59 minutes and 59 second mark, every player that hits that is buying. If they make it that far, do you think they're just going to put it down? No. It's friggin' brilliant. You bought a $40 game. Let's say you buy a $40 game and it's significantly shorter than Forbidden West. Well, then Sony's going to be like, hey, developer, what's average completion time for your game? And they're like, it's going to land somewhere between 3 and 5 hours. Somewhere between 4 and 8 hours, depending on how they play. Okay, we'll let people play it for an hour. Maybe 2. There's no way they're beating the game. They'll get invested. Anybody who makes it to the hour mark, anybody who makes it to the 2 hour mark is way more likely to buy the game. Like, it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it works. And you're never on the short end of that deal as the consumer. You're always in the position of power. How many $35 games only last 5 hours? Only the ones we regret buying? Maybe. It depends. I mean, yeah, the average $35 to $40 game I'm imagining is going to be 6 to 8 hours minimum on most of them. Now, again, you just got to be careful because indie titles, they can be quite a bit quicker and still be worth the $35 to $40. You're not speedrunning Forbidden West in 2 hours? Yeah, it just isn't possible. Isn't Stray around that price point? That said, it's a 5 to 7 hour game. Right, Stray is a good example. What is I can't remember now. Store, let's see here. Stray is $30, so Stray you wouldn't get a game trial of. Yeah, you wouldn't get a game trial of Stray. It's too cheap. The game trials on Sony PlayStation are 35 and up. 35 and up. What's Suede saying? I've heard that, but are trophies going to pop during the trial, or do they pop when it switches? No, I believe they said achievements and trophies pop in the trial, because it said, I believe I read this, any trophies earned during the trial you get to keep. You don't have to like re-earn them. I'm fairly certain that was included in the frequently asked questions. Let's see. PS Plus Premium Trials Sony blog. I'm fairly certain that was in their that was in the guide, that if you got any, what do they call them? Oh, no, Troph will probably do us. Can I transfer game progress from time-limited game trials in PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe plan if I decide to buy the game? Yes. Any trophies and game save data from the trial period will carry forward if you purchase the game. If I earn trophies after trying a time-limited game trial and decide not to buy the title, can I keep my trophies? Trophies earned during your time-limited game trial through PlayStation Plus Premium or Deluxe plan will remain on your PSN profile even after you complete the trial and decide not to purchase the title. If you decide to purchase the title at a later time, you can continue to earn trophies where you left off. There you go. There's your answer. $30 for not PS Plus subscribers, $20 for PS Plus subs. Devs can also opt into trials. Yeah, when does Roller Drome hit? Available on Premium. Test drive some of the biggest releases. What's Roller Drome's release date? The problem is the more critical gamers will always compare PS Plus and Game Pass, so it's a direct compare competition. August 16th. Ah. I think next week, the big miss next week is that we can't play Spider-Man on PC. That's a big bummer. That's a big bummer. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's go. Let us go with another discussion question. I should have gave this one before I walked away. Does the projected downturn in game sales concern you? Why or why not? So both Sony Both Sony and Microsoft are projecting a downturn in sales going forward. And does it concern you? Because it seems as though we are headed toward a gaming recession of kind. Now, obviously, some of this is like worldwide. This is not just gaming, but does it concern you at all? Yeah, 2-hour speed runs takes like hours. Not money out of my pocket, says God Howard. I don't give a no, because we're in a weird point in the generation shift, and it will even out, says Eugene. Random question, anyone who knows. I don't see a membership button, just a subscription button. Is that something I turn on or not? Vaughn, you probably have to either type !join in the chat. There's a link below to become a member in the description as well. But if you're on iOS and you're using the app, that feature is coming eventually. You'll end up paying a little bit more money once that button is live on iOS because Apple wants a cut. So you're honestly better off trying to do it in a normal web browser if you can. That app doesn't, the iOS app doesn't let you. The problem isn't gaming, it's the economic situation around the world. Many predicting a recession and money is tighter for people. I'm not concerned. I agree it will drop, but give it 12 months. You don't just accidentally speedrun a game in 2 hours the first time you play it. No, I've never done that. I've never done that. I'm sorry, but what do you mean predicting a recession? They already announced it a few days ago. We're in a recession. Okay, maybe I phrased it wrong. Sorry. They're saying that because of that, the next quarter or year, there will be a decrease in sales across the board. There already has been a decrease, and they're saying it will continue. Has Roller Dome been dropped by Ubisoft already? Oh, that's a different game. That's Roller Derby, and they said that Roller Derby is going to continue. They shut down those rumors. There were rumors that game was getting canceled, and they said those rumors are false. Bear market. There was an unnatural peak. It's going to regress to the mean. Okay. So Zubair says there was an unnatural peak and it spiked way up, and this is a natural thing. This is a natural occurrence. Not really. It actually may help better games to be developed. Devs are going to have to fight for their market. It's going to go below the mean, says Wheezy. You didn't see my question. I was asking if Sony buys Square Enix, do you think FTC will force them to put their games on Xbox? Why would they force them to do that? What would the reasoning be? I don't think so, but what would the reasoning be that they would? It's a partial effect of the actual recession, says Akuta Papa. People don't have the money to spend on leisure items. Gaming is a luxury item. You don't need it. The price hike will only feed the scalpers, says Santiago. I don't think it'll feed the scalpers. I think it'll make the scalpers, they have to charge more money, which to maintain their own margins. Maybe not prior to the recession, but disposable income is reduced. I imagine gaming is optional. Why are they forcing Xbox to put Call of Duty on PlayStation? Where did you read that the FTC is doing that? The roller derby game was fun. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. Sony is arguing now to cancel the Activision Blizz deal. I didn't see this anywhere. We're in a recession. Admin is playing semantics and is lying like usual. Oh, I know what you're saying. Let's not go there. The FTC is worried about Call of Duty because it's quite literally one of the biggest media franchises in the world. Wait, so is that actually a stipulation of what's happening right now? That they're saying if the Blizzard Activision deal goes through, PlayStation needs to continue to get Call of Duty? Are they actively saying that? It's not a stipulation. Okay. I was like, that would be so... I've not seen that. That would be huge headlines if the FTC had already come to some sort of a formal decision to be like, hey, you need to put that on that system. That would be really early in the deal for them to be saying that. The FTC seems likely to force titles to remain multi-platform, says Eugene. So people are speculating that going forward, these big purchases, you're gonna see things remain multi-plat. I wonder what that means for the Elder Scrolls, because Starfield is certainly not falling into that category. Probably exist. I bet you it's existing titles, existing franchises. They're like, no. You got to leave those alone. The FTC doesn't have that ability per se, says Wheezy. Does anyone know if Bethesda will be on PC and Xbox? Yes, Starfield will be on both platforms. It's one of the FTC's abilities to oversee conversations. They can't say, do this now. Okay. Couldn't they say that this deal can't go through unless we see significant efforts to keep existing franchises multi-platform? Because we feel taking existing franchises at this threshold and restricting them to one platform is anti-competition or whatever they would say. They can't say, if you aren't doing this, it seems very Monopoly-like. Right. No, Starfield will not be on PlayStation. There's a rumor that it was going to be a timed exclusive for PlayStation, which I think part of the delay is related to the Xbox Series S being too weak to run the game well. I think it was going to be a PS5 exclusive, and then they were going to kick it over to the Series X and PC. Or, I'm sorry, Series X. It would have been on PC day one. Sony says it believes Xbox owning Call of Duty could influence users' console choice. You mean like in the past when Sony had console exclusivity over Call of Duty, early access and maps and guns? Come on, Sony. You played that game. They can certainly withhold approval. Didn't they do that with the Sony Bungie takeover and Destiny saying on Xbox? Yeah, Sony knows firsthand that Call of Duty can affect... Sony knows firsthand that Call of Duty can affect console purchase because they did it. The FTC can't say, hey, do this, but they can say, this seems very Monopoly-like. The FTC isn't saying any of that. Sony claims that Call of Duty is a game that no other developer can match, and it should remain multi-platform. Also, Game Pass holds 60-70% of the market share of the streaming service globally. Jolly good show. Yo, what's good, Lufi? Okay. Call of Duty has lost a lot of popularity. I think they're overreacting. It is a big franchise, though. Call of Duty is still one of the biggest franchises in existence. Somewhere between 8 and 10 million logins a month for Call of Duty. And then Call of Duty Mobile is printing money. Call of Duty has lost a lot of popularity. It's still the best-selling game each year. Yeah, I think Sony will make billions from Destiny on Xbox. Billions? Over time? I don't know about that. Yeah, how long is it going to take them to get into the billions? Destiny's lucrative, but it's not that lucrative. Sony's not recouping billions on Destiny as a franchise on Xbox. Keep in mind what you said. Number one, Destiny as a franchise is not that lucrative, and it certainly isn't that lucrative on Xbox. The new FTC doesn't like tech mergers. Every game wishes they could be like Call of Duty. Sorry, just tired of being constantly BS, losing my paycheck to things. Oh, I know, Akuta Papa. Destiny makes more money than the whole of Ubi. Profits. Destiny does not make enough money on the Xbox platform to hit billions in the next 5 years. How long was it going to take them to get there? They make more money. Destiny makes more money than all of Ubi? What are you smoking? What? Ubi has some very big and successful properties. What are you talking about? Yeah, and Xbox has the smallest user base in Destiny. No surprise. Seems like you play Call of Duty every day. COD's the only game I log in and play every day. Could we get 400 likes? We only need 28 more. If you've not smashed the like button today, it really helps us out, so we appreciate you doing that. We really appreciate that. Why is Louisville trending? Oh, sports stuff. I was like, what is going on in my city? What was Bungie's sale price? The acquisition, which wasn't like a total acquisition, right? It was like a very specific acquisition, was like... What was it? What was it? I can't remember now. Sony buys Bungie... $3.6 billion. Yeah, so their valuation was $3.6 billion. So you're saying that Sony will make billions from Destiny on Xbox. I don't understand. Like, I'm not getting where you're getting that. I don't know where you're doing that math. Like, the player base for Destiny is sound and it's a moneymaker. But billions from one platform, the platform with the least amount of players? They make $500 million from the game per year. Don't make Skull and Bones come in here. Part of that was $1 million per dev that stayed so long. I'm not being rude. Okay. I'll get in a few minutes. I'm interested in seeing how Microsoft manages these newly made first-party studios. I wonder how much impact cutting off the largest console base will have for Bethesda and Activision. Excuse me. I do Vanguard and Warzone. Already pre-ordered Modern Warfare 2 for October. Bungie was sold for $3.6 billion, and Sony owns all of Bungie. Right. The statement that they would make billions on Xbox, the Destiny game on Xbox, saying they're going to make billions. I don't think so. 275,000 out of 800,000 players are on Xbox. I don't know what the exact percentages are. To me, it feels like Microsoft knew about inflation coming as well as a recession, and that's why they created Game Pass and cloud gaming. Yeah, where's your proof they make $500 million a year? I know that Destiny is lucrative, but I don't think that they're that lucrative. I also think that PlayStation bought Bungie, right? Sony bought Bungie for their live service tech. That's what they want. They want the live service tech. They're like, sure, they'll make money off of Destiny. Great. It's always nice to have, games making money for you, but that's not the primary reason they bought them. If they could make billion, why would they sell for 3.6? That's what I mean. If you're going to be making billions on a company that you bought for 3.6 billion, then what on earth? Billions in revenue or profit? The statement that we all record scratched on was Sony will make billions on Xbox alone. Sony will make billions from Destiny on Xbox. And I'm like, what do you mean? Generate billions? Even that's going to be tough because you're talking about the smallest percentage of the player pool. I don't know. I'm not sure where he's getting his totals. I think I read that Bungie's yearly revenue was like $330 billion. What did you just say? What? No? What? Where did you read that? You meant million. Like, my head started spinning. I was like, they're making $300 billion annual and they just sold for $3.6 billion? What the I almost swore. I was like, what in the frick? You meant million. $330 million. Okay, there's literally no way to know how much they make. Yeah, I don't think their earnings are public. Yeah, we'll be looking at Dead Drop here in a while. We'll be taking a look at Doc's game. Dead Drop. Must be million. Bungie ain't making billions a year. Yeah. No. Yeah, if they're making they're making $330 million a year. You know what? 100 mil of that's coming from the Xbox platform, probably, right? So how long? That's just revenue generation. That's not profit. Sony's going to make billions from Destiny on Xbox. 10 years equals $1 billion. Oh, for you just took us down a rabbit trail, and it was a goat. Eugene is saying, yes, years and years ago, Microsoft foresaw a global epidemic and a market situation with record inflation, coupled with record corporate profits, and was like, we need Game Pass. Who are these people? Eugene doesn't often screen cap his comments and make me reread them, but that one was well worth it. That was good. Sony may have already said it's the live service tech they want. It may not be total revenue of D2 that appeals, but the rate of return they're achieving. Yeah. I've always said that Destiny's way more popular and lucrative than I think people realize. But they ain't making billions from that property, especially not on the Xbox platform. Now, if you're like, oh, in 10 years, they might make $1 billion. Okay, that's not what you said. I mean, I think you even put billions in all caps. Yeah, Sony will make billions in all caps from Destiny on Xbox. Like, no. They already announced the acquisition, didn't they, like a week ago? Which one are you talking about? Just seems like a lot of money for online gaming service knowledge. But Sebastian, have you seen just how much of the Sony budget's going to go to live service by the end of fiscal year 2025? By the end of the fiscal year 2025, 55% of Sony's gaming budget is going to live service. It's a massive play for them. Like, by 5%, most of their budget's going to live service by the end of fiscal year 2025. So, yeah. It's a humongous endeavor. They're not like, oh, hey, we're going to have a couple of live service games. They're like, homie, half our budget's going to this. And right now, end of fiscal year 2019, it was like 19% of their budget. It was barely 20, so it was 20%. So they're going from 1/5 of their budget to half. We don't know what live service means to Sony. It could be another All-Star Racing. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. You're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? You're not saying anything. That statement doesn't mean anything. They want 10 live service games by the end of the year. Or, I'm sorry, not by the end of the year. By the end of a certain time frame. I forget what year it is. By the end of 2026, 2025, wherever the frick it is. I think Square is a part of the strategy. I think Ubisoft is a part of the strategy. Both Ubi and Square are slimming way down, canceling projects, shuttering studios, shutting things down. Why? Because they're getting their asking price down low enough for Sony to scoop them up. That's what they're doing. Who do you think is more likely, Sony acquiring Square or Ubi? Both. They're grabbing both. That's what I think. It's a prediction based off of market behavior. Both Square Enix and Ubi are shrinking to be buyable. They're just canceling projects and shuttering studios and shutting down this and shutting down that. They're getting ready to be bought. Somebody's telling them to do that. Yeah, we'll buy you for this much money. And you know how you get there? This. Get it off the frickin' table. They're getting Square for sure. I think Ubi's wishful thinking. No. Ubi, number one, they're in a depressed market. Number two, Ubi has controversy just like Blizzard Activision did. Number three, Ubi's canceling like tons of projects. You think they're doing that just out of the blue? Someone's buying Ubi. They can't afford both? I think they can. I think that's why both studios are shrinking. Both Square and Ubi are trying to become smaller. Like, why? The only reason would be Sony's like, this is how much money we got, bro, and we want both of you. Microsoft's eyeing Ubi? No. All signs point to Ubi going to Sony. So you think Ubi launches Ubisoft Classics explicitly for Sony, and it doesn't touch Microsoft because Microsoft's buying them? Microsoft's definitely buying Ubisoft. Right, and Ubisoft's publishing blogs about their Ubisoft Classics coming to Sony. It was rumored that the Ubisoft Plus was coming to Game Pass. That rumor got shot down, and then the next thing we see is a blog on Ubisoft's platform about Sony, promoting Sony PS Plus. If Microsoft is grabbing Ubi's behavior makes no sense. Why would they be playing nice with Sony? Unless Sony got in before the deal and secured Ubisoft Classics. Yeah, Ubi's going into the red. Ubisoft expects lower profits in 2022 to 2023 after missing full year estimate. They are 100% having a fire sale, and then they're going to get scooped up. Ubisoft's behavior doesn't make any sense if Microsoft's buying them. To be fair, Microsoft would allow PlayStation to have the classics, and then they get the next game, Genius 4D Chess. Holy fricking, you're joking. Don't be surprised when Amazon swoops in unexpected. I mean, I could see Amazon swooping in, but again, Ubi's posture is very pro-Sony, while they're also canceling projects and shrinking. But no, dude, Microsoft's getting them. What? Bethesda played nice with Sony before Microsoft made the deal. Where? Where was Bethesda doing things specific to Sony's ecosystem before Microsoft made the deal, Loot? Like, Ubisoft publishes a blog promoting PlayStation Plus? Why would they be doing that if they're signing contracts with Microsoft? Ubisoft isn't getting purchased by Sony or Microsoft. They have a deal going with both of them right now. So when I debate it's propaganda, okay, that's just weird. Just mute me if you don't like it. I'm not sure who said that. Starfield was going to be a PlayStation exclusive for a year. I think that's what they're saying. That was a rumor that was never officially announced. I'm talking about an official announcement on the Ubisoft blog. I'm not talking about rumors. The Starfield PlayStation exclusive thing was a rumor. That was a leaked thing. Ubisoft officially came out, published a blog promoting the Sony subscription ecosystem. You think Microsoft would be chill with that? You think Microsoft, whose central driving business push is their Game Pass ecosystem, and they're like, yeah, we're going to buy you. And they're like, yeah, that's totally fine. Just promote our competition subscription service in the process. What? It doesn't make any sense. 2 Bethesda games were announced to be timed exclusive to PlayStation pretty shortly before the deal was announced. Deathloop and the horror game. Yeah, but you're talking about Deathloop, which was a game that was in production for how many years, and that contract was probably dry well before the contract with Microsoft was dry. So I suppose that could be true with Ubisoft Classics. Ubisoft Classics is not a game that's been in development for 5 years. It's likely been on a shorter time development. Like, it's a subscription service. I don't think a subscription service plan and strategy took 5 years to come to fruition. It still stands to reason that you might be right. That, like, Sony and Ubi were in talks for a really long time. Okay, yeah, we'll give you Ubi Classics. Okay, cool. And then in the wake of that, Microsoft swoops in and buys them. Maybe. Sony was going in for Starfield and Elder Scrolls, but Xbox didn't like that. Right, which, okay, so that's another angle that could mean that Sony is still gunning for people because they want they got burned by the Starfield Elder Scrolls thing. They're like, all right, we'll grab Ubi and Square. Makes way more sense to me going to Sony with the PS Plus model. It would allow Ubi to test out new titles with demos and help Sony with the live service. I think that's why they want Ubi. They want Ubi to help them build their some live service games for them. Division being one of them. Wait, track with me here. Ubi already has live service games planned. They do. We've talked about some of them recently. The Heartland. And what was the other one we talked about? Yo, Reaper hitting a 17-month milestone. Thank you, sir. Ubisoft is in bed with everyone. Maybe that's why it's hard to read what's happening. Ubi's like going to everybody and trying to get a deal. Like, oh, we want our Ubisoft classics here. We want our Ubi thing here. We want our Ubi da-da-da-da-da. I wish Microsoft wouldn't have bought Activision Blizzard. Bethesda is perfect for Xbox. That relationship was deep. Can definitely see PlayStation locking down some of those Ubi's live service titles to their platform. You're talking about me saying the POS comment. Me and Triz are good friends. It's an inside joke. Oh. Sony can hire them like they did with Jade. Sony just wants the people. Sony doesn't put out trash. You keep acting like they would just let Ubi keep doing what they're doing. No matter who ends up with them, we can debate all day who ends up buying Ubi. Ubi postured a couple of months ago about being purchased. They are 100% getting bought by somebody. I don't believe you're in a they're in a tailspin of profits and earnings, and they're just canceling projects left and right, and no one's buying them. It's a depressed market. Everybody's getting bought right now. I would bet Ubisoft at least around 15 to 20 billion based on market cap. Don't think Sony would spend that much, even if you dropped it down to 10. You think that Ubi's valuation is still at 15 to 20 billion? Ubi put on a wig and a push-up bra. Something's up. After the Microsoft drop to the 67.8 billion, everyone is at least exploring options for sure. They're not 10 billion. Why do people keep making up numbers? Ubi's valuation, I don't think, is that high. Not now. Did Sony not say they want one for Ubi Studios and not all of them? I thought last we looked, that Ubi was around the 6 million mark, which was Sony had, according to reports, Sony had like 9 billion left to spend in acquisitions. They were still out there on the market looking for people to acquire. And if you get Ubi valued down to 5 and you shrink Square down to 5 because you're only buying a portion of Square, there you go. Sony's done. Sony's done buying companies. They get each of those companies down to around 5. Does Ubi bring in $1 billion a year in revenue? I'm not sure. They want one of Square Studios. Yeah, they just want Japan. They'll buy Square Japan for what? What would Square Japan even be valued at? 3 or 4 billion? I don't even know. I've not looked at it. You go for Square Japan for, 3 or 4, and then you grab Ubi for, 5 or 6, but Square Japan might be the monster in the room. A lot more than 3 to 4? That's what I mean. They might be worth a lot more. Even though Square is cutting their Western studios, they still might be worth, what? Close to 10? August 2022, Ubisoft had a market cap of 5.29 billion. So their market cap was a little over 5 billion. You think Square Japan's higher than 10? Then there's no way Sony can buy them. Unless Sony's going to spend all remaining on the acquisition just for Square Japan, and then they'll borrow. Sony has investors lined up. Right, they'll get investors. They'll essentially be borrowing. They'll say, okay, we'll spend our remaining $9 billion on on Square Japan, and we need some investors to help make up the difference. If they have a market cap, then there's your valuation. Yeah, Ubi's market cap is a little over $5 billion. And that's before they started canceling all these projects. Depends on what Square Japan... Oh, excuse me. It depends on what Square Japan is working on. What has that studio made? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not up to date on them. Ubi and Square have brand recognition with their IPs. That's enough to double their market cap, in my opinion, when it comes to bidding with Microsoft included. Hang on. No, I don't know about double. They could definitely puff up a little bit, especially if Microsoft's driving bidding up, but I don't think double. No. There's no way they're going to double their market cap just because they have recognizable IPs. I could see them bumping up more than their valuation to maybe a 6 billion, maybe a 7, because Microsoft would be driving the number up. But their IPs are not enough to double their market cap. You'd have to have proof of concept that, like, listen, our recognizable IPs are set to have growth patterns and market share, increasing over the next, however many years. Ubi has Assassin's Creed. That's about it. Nothing from Tom Clancy's been good for 8+ years. This would have saved me on Anthem. $1 billion company doesn't have the buying power of a $1 trillion company. I'm not sure what you're saying. Okay, and can I ask a question? When's the last time Sony bought something like Ubisoft or even Square Enix? Well, I mean, they bought Bungie. They bought Bungie for $3.6 billion and let them stay independent. And Ubisoft has made it very clear that if they get bought, they want to stay independent. You think Microsoft's going to be okay with that? No. Sony would be chill with that. Sony's like, yeah, we already drew up a contract like that. Ubisoft all but said, you can buy us, but we want to stay independent. I don't think Microsoft likes the sound of that. That's a deal breaker for Microsoft from where I sit. And Sony would be like, yeah, that's totally fine. We did the same thing with Bungie. We need you for live service. Sony fits. Sony and Ubi fit like a glove. The only thing in the room that makes it tough is if they also want to grab Square Japan. Square Japan valuation is going to tilt the scales. They can only buy one. They can't buy both. Unless people are overestimating the valuation of Square Japan. Sony's letting them operate independent. They did not remain independent. Well, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. I'm encapsulating the idea. They want to operate independent. Sure, fine. We'll own you and you operate independent. That's cool. And that's a big thing that Ubi pushed in the one narrative, in the one interview. They're like, we have everything we need to remain independent. Okay, well, that's a really easy thing for Sony to accommodate. They've already accommodated Bungie in that way. Microsoft's not going to walk in the room and be like, oh yeah, we're going to accommodate you as you record shrinking market cap and you cancel projects. Oh yeah, sure, we'll let you remain independent. No, that's not how Microsoft operates. The division was good. Please buy us for $12 billion. Yeah, Skull and Bones, Avatar's delayed, Mario Rabbids, Roller Champions, Rainbow Six Extraction. It failed. No way. Microsoft's already shown they're not going to be hands-off. Microsoft shouldn't spend $1 on Ubi. Is Willem Dafoe playing the Joker? What are you talking about? In what? Microsoft needs to turn out games before buying more studios. That's what I'm saying. On August the 2nd? Okay, that's fine. What's this game about? Point and click? No thanks. I don't think that Sony is interested in buying publishers to put under the PlayStation banner. People need to make the distinction between the corporate and the company. Square Japan is just for Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and the Final Fantasy live service. Ubi is for their live service games, I guess, says Nova. If Sony does buy Ubi, does this mean any project that Ubi and Nintendo had or were working on get thrown out the window? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Sony is interested in buying like Ubi or Square and shrinking the reach of the property. I think they want them for their tech. They want them for their development bandwidth. Like, that's what I think they want. That's why I think Sony's going for Ubi. I think they want them for live service. They want them building live service games. Kind of forgot that game came out. Definitely wasn't buying it at that price. Plus, unironically, it isn't on Steam. Make sure you're on live chat. I was in top chat, says Zubair. Yeah, guys, make sure you're on live chat. Make sure you're pressing that like button. We've gone for 2 hours, and we haven't run any ads. And the reason we do that is because of the memberships and the super chats. Consider becoming a member or gifting a member. Every hour or so, they want me running ads. And I would rather say no. We can monetize live streams differently. I don't like running ads. We tried it last week, and I found it to be a very, very disruptive and unnecessary thing. Ubi Future Games or AC Infinity kind of sounds like Halo Infinite. I'm kind of deep down the rabbit hole. AC Infinity is going to be a live service Assassin's Creed game. Gee, that sounds like a perfect fit for a company who wants 55% of their operating budget fiscal year 25 to be 55% of the budget in live service. And don't forget about Division Heartland. And don't forget that Sony said their live service games will be multi-platform. Like, they want how many games to be live service? 10? And did they buy Ubi? They've already got 2 on the docket? Maybe 3? If Sony buys a publisher, then they will be under the corporate Sony banner like Bungie. I don't think they are buying any major publishers to make exclusives under the PlayStation Studios. They've already made it clear that the live service games will not be exclusives. So if they buy Ubi for live service, the Ubi titles would be multi-plat. Same with Square. They buy Square Japan, they want that live service, those live service games will remain multi-plat. They've been very open about that. That PlayStation exclusivity will not be a thing for their live service games. They're not doing that. Live service games would not excuse me. A live service game would not flourish on one platform. That would be stupid. They've come out and said their live service games won't be exclusives. I've not heard that. Or are you just talking about Bungie? No, there have been... Hang on. Sony live service games exclusive. There was an interview. I gotta find it. There's an interview where they basically said they envision the live service games being multi-platform. I don't know where the interview is. I'd have to find it. Somebody's gonna have to try to find it for me. It's gonna be too disruptive for the show for me to try to find the interview. I'm fairly certain there was an interview where they said they envisioned the future of them having live service games on multiple platforms. It was phrased like that or something. It was like they were essentially saying these live service efforts that we're having, these will be multi-platform efforts. It's not like they're going to build some live service game and be like, yeah, you can only play it on PlayStation. As Porktoe is saying, that's just counterproductive. No, if you want a live service game, you want it everywhere. More than likely, they looked at Sony's books. They looked at Sony's live service. Sony looked at Bungie's books. They looked at Bungie's live service tech, and they said, holy crap, there's money to be made here with multi-platform live service games. It looks to me that they are setting up a mutually assured destruction scenario where neither side can make big games exclusive. It's reinforcing the status quo, not changing it. They'll definitely be PC. Is it that one, Metallica? Here we go. Let me read this one. Metallica found me an article that I think is what I'm remembering. Hang on, my history has to refresh. Come on, Google Chrome. There it is. PlayStation. Bungie deals about multi-platform live service games. Sony Interactive Entertainment head Jim Ryan says we should expect more acquisitions. Bungie is this. Bungie will operate like this. I'm trying to find the quote. Definitely live service, different era. This is it all. Sony has been so gracious with their early insights. Incredible what they have to offer. We've already friends with a lot of them. I'm trying to find the quote, guys. No. I can't find the quote. It's somewhere in here. We're talking about philanthropy now. I can't find the quote. Hang on. I might have to just search for multi-platform. Hang on. Okay, multi. Bungie will remain a multi-platform studio and publisher. Okay, here we go. We are starting to go multi-platform. You've seen that. We have an aggressive roadmap with live services and the opportunity to work with and particularly learn from the brilliant and talented people from Bungie that's going to considerably accelerate the journey we find ourselves on. Yeah, so they're all but saying, right? The official opinions from Sony, Ubisoft, WB, that could be a show. The Reset Air thing. Okay, hang on. I'll have to look at that later. Basically, what Jim Ryan is saying is we've already made efforts with going multi-platform. Bungie's going to help us continue to do that with live service games. Now, he could be saying multi-platform, and in his mind, he's thinking PlayStation and PC. I don't think that's the case. Like, I think they're open to being like, no, our live service games are going to be multi-platform. Like, that's a way a live service game is going to flourish. If Bungie's going to help them accelerate into multi-platform live service, I don't think that's just PC and PlayStation. That sounds like PlayStation and PC, which would be multi-platform. You could read it that way. You could 100% read it that he is strictly talking about that. But I've been on record talking about increasing the size of the PlayStation community and expanding beyond our historic console heartland. This may take many forms, and definitely one of the main ones is the ability for the wonderful games that we've been making over the past 25 years to be enjoyed in different places and played in different ways. We are starting to go multi-platform. You've seen that. We are starting to go. We have an aggressive roadmap with live services and the opportunity to work with and particularly learn from the brilliant, talented people at Bungie. This was going to considerably accelerate the journey we find ourselves on. I don't know. You could definitely read that to be like, oh, yeah, they're talking about their wonderful games being enjoyed in different places in different ways. They're talking about PC. I read that as, no, we have an aggressive roadmap for live service. We're spending big money. And I think that means as long as it's not a first-party Sony title that's synonymous with the Sony brand, like Ragnarok or something, they're going to be like, no, yeah, that's on every platform. I think Sony will have live service games for all platforms, plus what my Microsoft is doing, I think we will go into a point where you will own a console just for console-specific story-driven games. I don't think Sony will put their live service games on Xbox. Look how they constantly try to build third-party games just to keep them off of Xbox. He's literally saying in this interview that they're changing. Like, they're expanding beyond our historic console heartland. This can take many forms. And definitely one of the main reasons, definitely one of the main ones, is the ability for wonderful games we've been making over the past 25 years to be enjoyed in different places and played in different ways. I can see them taking a new IP they've developed in-house and putting it on Xbox. Contrary to popular belief, Sony and Microsoft aren't enemies. They are friends and among each other's best customers. The war is only between the fans. Are the only PlayStation console exclusives that are exclusively multiplayer? I'm not sure what you mean, Butters. I disagree. We're going to have Sony live service games on Xbox. If I'm a betting man, if you and I are walking up to the roulette table and we're putting money on the table, I would put money on the table that says Sony has live service games that will be multi-platform. They will end up on the Microsoft console. Zero doubt in my mind. I would put money on the table and bet that. Based on Jim Ryan's comments here, yeah. Yeah. Because I just think it's just an easy win. You take a game, it's live service, it's online, it's multiplayer, it's not a first-party Sony title that everyone's like, oh, that's synonymous with the Sony brand, and you just put it everywhere. Multiplat does not mean Xbox? No. But he said they are just now starting to go, we are just starting to go multi-platform. You've seen that. We have an aggressive roadmap with live services. That doesn't sound like, yeah, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, PC and PlayStation. It sounds like, no. We're going to go further than what we're currently doing. It sounds like we're just seeing the beginning of Sony exclusives. Like, PlayStation exclusive games will continue to be a thing. It wouldn't surprise me at all if when he's talking about this, they're like, no, we're going to be more aggressive with our live service games. If we're going to dedicate 55% of our budget to live service, I don't think they're keeping it on the console and PC. I think they're going everywhere. What was the article we read Friday about old boy from Xbox saying the console war was meant to be nothing like it's become? Yeah, I forget the name of that. Apex Legends news, Reforge King's Canyon map update. Hey, man. Let's go. Get the name Reforge everywhere. I could see Sony keeping established IP PlayStation only, but new IP is best served on all boxes. So it makes sense Sony wanted Bungie's expertise when it comes to multi-platform and gaming, a seamless multi-platform live service. Right, like, why would you buy Bungie for their live service tech and their live service expertise and be like, yes, thank you so much. We're going to launch live service games, but we're not going to hit all platforms. Like, what? No, like, Bungie's tech is literally going to help them do what I'm saying. Third paragraph of that article I shared talks about Destiny 2 and future Bungie titles going to rival consoles. Yeah, so they're going to allow Bungie to operate in that way. Yes, which means that they'd probably be okay with, like, if, as I've said, they bought Ubisoft, they would give Ubisoft the same deal, and Ubisoft live service games would be everywhere under Sony's ownership. Like, they're literally saying future Bungie titles will be everywhere, and they just bought them. Right? They just bought them. So, to me, that stands to reason that anybody they buy that helps them create live service stuff, that's what they're going to say. Let's see. It's going to be Dead Drop Gameplay VOD. Scheduled stream. This next one might be a banger, might be short. I'm not sure. Judging by Paul's video, I think we're gonna probably meet a lot of people. Yeah, if you try and type it as one name, it doesn't work. They don't have it loaded into like YouTube's thing yet. The Dead Drop game, it's not loaded as a YouTube game yet. You can select it as two names, but that's probably not the right thing. I bet you a lot of people do that for the time being, because they're like, what am I supposed to pick? We'll do that. Here's one from a couple of days ago. All right, hang on. I got another article about this. Let me check it out. Price hike, wow. Yeah, we debated the likelihood of a price hike and looked at like commentary from an earnings call, projections about gaming and sales, and yeah, a PS5 price increase. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not outside of the scope of possibility. Okay, Xputer says, Sony to focus more on live service games and multi-platform titles. Right here. And this is plural. This is very important. So this is from a financial report that Sony put out. In addition to enhancing the content development capability of our existing studios, we are working to strengthen our first-party software by creating new IP and accelerating the rollout of live game services and multi-platform titles through synergies with the studios we have acquired. Studios, plural. So the studios they're acquiring, they're going to be working with them to do what? Accelerate the rollout of live service games and multi-platform titles. Now that could mean, oh yeah, you've acquired studios, they're going to help you port games over to PC. That's where multi-platform comes in. Yeah, maybe. But it's said in the same breath as live service. They want to accelerate the rollout of live game services and multi-platform titles through the synergies with the studios they've acquired. So it's like, yeah, that's everything I've been saying. I could be misreading the tea leaves here, and they could be like, no, we're literally acquiring studios so that we can have a funnel of live service games and then people over here porting games to PC. That's our multi-platform. A Halo car, no pun intended, is an inspirational supercar that makes use to create a mental impression regarding their brand. They don't sell many, that's not the point. You see the Ford GT or the Dodge Viper, some games are Halo games and are part of the identity and marketing of the console. They serve the purpose other than just the ROI. SIE makes multi-platform games. Again, there is a distinction between Sony and PlayStation. Sony, or SIE, has a number of divisions. PlayStation is a division under SIE. Bungie is owned by SIE. PlayStation makes exclusive games. SIE makes multi-platform games. Stop using PS and Sony interchangeable. I mean, I'm not going to do that because, number one, I don't listen to people in chat that get that specific and pedantic. I understand the point that you're making, but I'm not doing that, and I don't expect anybody else to do that either. That's a ridiculous linguistic, muzzle you're trying to put on people, to be clear. Number one, no one's even going to understand that's what's happening. Even if I commit to your linguistic rule, no one's even going to know why I'm doing that. Come on. Point being, you can be all about multi-platform but keep God of War exclusive. That's right. Sony Interactive Entertainment. That's what I mean. You're literally saying Sony. Sony or Sony Interactive Entertainment isn't the same as PlayStation. That just gets freaking confusing. I understand the distinction that you're making, but it just gets confusing to be that rigid. No one's gonna know why I'm doing that. I'd have to constantly stop and be like, now the reason I'm saying Sony Interactive Entertainment is because they're not actually the same as PlayStation. that's no one's going to understand what in the world I'm saying. Eugene says, except he's wrong. PlayStation is under SIE. Xbox is Xbox. It's not Microsoft, and PlayStation is PlayStation, not Sony. That's what I mean. Ironically, Halo is the worst Halo game. Splitting hairs, it doesn't matter. All PlayStation Sony games as service will be using Azure. SIE and PlayStation are not separate entities. That's what I'm saying. Number one, that's news to me. I've never heard that distinction before. It sounds like it might not even be true. Eugene's saying that's not true. PlayStation is under SIE. SIE is under Sony. Yeah, it sounds like you're creating false distinctions, to be quite honest. If what Eugene is saying is true, you're creating distinctions that don't even make sense logically and are just confusing at the end of the day. Do you think in 10 years we will even have consoles or consoles exclusivity? If you say Sony is moving toward multi-platform games, people think you mean PlayStation is moving toward multi-platform games. Yeah, and they are. So all the headlines were wrong when they said that PlayStation bought Bungie? So all those headlines are wrong? It was SIE and not PlayStation? Like, look at the... Do we have to look at this image? That's not the right thing. Hang on. So this official image put out by Sony when the merger goes through, it literally says PlayStation and Bungie. They have the PlayStation logo on there. It's official marketing iconography imagery put out. And they're saying, yeah, PlayStation Bungie. Yep. Mm-hmm. They're not making the distinction that you're making. Hey, Sony, would you stop that? That's really confusing. It's SIE, not PlayStation. Then what the frick does this image communicate? Their own imagery is in contrast to what you're saying. You're splitting a hair that they're not even splitting. They're like, what are you talking about? PlayStation makes more money than all the TVs and computer crap. That's hard to believe. They sell a lot of TVs. Sorry, Lono, but he's right. It's pronounced potato, not potato. If there's one thing I've learned over the years is the level of technological illiteracy in media, even gaming journalism is vast. Yeah, apparently Sony is too. They don't know how to promote their own merger. Yeah. They don't know how to promote their own merger. They use the PlayStation logo and they use the PlayStation font and the PlayStation text. Somebody was supposed to make sure that said Sony and not PlayStation. And yet, somehow this got approved through the marketing department. That this is supposed to be coupled with every headline about this purchase. And I'm sitting here being told, oh, don't say that. PlayStation's not the same as SIE. What are you even talking about? No one sits here and says, actually, it's SIE, not PlayStation, because they know at this point, no one attaches SIE. They attach PlayStation. That's what I mean. Sony, they made this image and pushed it out with the official announcement. Why would they do that if you're right? You know what I'm saying? Oh my. They were a mod for half a second. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Banning someone and making a mod are right next to each other. They're literally right next to each other. I love that. Here we go. Here we go. Let's add to the hilarity of your pedantic hair splitting. Let's add to the hilarity. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for a funny joke? In 3, 2, 1. The official PlayStation blog says that Bungie is joining, wait for it, PlayStation. Can you guys see what I'm looking at? Do you see it? You see how big that is on the screen? You're literally splitting a hair and being pedantic about something that the company themselves is refuting. They're like, this is their official blog. Bungie is joining PlayStation. No one is saying what you're saying. Not even the company themselves. They're like, yeah, man. Today, I'm happy to announce Bungie will be joining the PlayStation family. They're not saying SIE. They're not saying Sony. It's not pedantic. It's flat out wrong. SIE is literally responsible for everything PlayStation related. You're a really loyal bot here. I'll make you a mod. You seem so invested in the community. Right? You show up every day. You might as well be a mod. SIE is the legal name. PlayStation is the brand's name. It doesn't even matter. Sometimes I need to bring popcorn, I swear. Microsoft picked Bungie off the floor when the apple dropped from them. What? I don't understand what you're saying. That bot needs a gifted member. It'd be so funny if they got one, but the accounts don't last very long. So. Halo was really supposed to be a Mac game? I don't know. I'm okay. How did this become this SIE versus PlayStation debate? Well, because he's gone miraculously quiet as everything we've looked up has proved the assertion wrong. I was told to. There is no distinction between Sony and PlayStation. Sony or SIE has a number of divisions. PlayStation is a division under SIE, and Bungie's owned by SIE. PlayStation makes exclusive games. I was told that I should stop saying them interchangeably, is what I was told. Corey was like, you shouldn't be saying these things interchangeably. They're not the same. Like, I guess I'm confusing or whatever. He said we need to make the distinction between Sony corporate and PlayStation. PlayStation can make exclusives. Sony will make multi-platform games. Like that, no one's making that distinction. Not even the companies themselves. Like, it even was kind of like, it trended on being like lectury. He was like lecturing me on like, stop saying that interchangeably. It's like, what do you mean? I'm literally using the terminology that the companies themselves use. Like, Bungie is joining the PlayStation family. Like, the image that they put out. Like, this is their own blog and headline. PlayStation and Bungie. Their logos. Their names all on one image. Bungie is joining PlayStation. People don't make a distinction between Microsoft and Xbox. Yeah, especially not the Xbox fans who always want to talk about how much money Microsoft makes, because I guess they really, really care about Microsoft Office and Windows as an OS. Like, they're really interested in that and the Azure cloud services, how much money they generate. Yeah, no, they're trying to peacock and act like what Microsoft earns is attributed to the gaming division, because sleight of hand and dishonesty has become common for the people who defend Microsoft and call me a fanboy. They're always dishonest and pull this sleight of hand bull crap. They do that all the time with Xbox. On January 26, 2016, Sony announced that effective April 1st, 2016, Sony Computer Entertainment and Sony Network Entertainment International would be reorganized and combined into one company. one new company. Sony Interactive Entertainment, unlike the former SCE and SIE, is based in San Mateo, California, and represents the entire PlayStation brand, regional subsidiaries, and its content operations. On March 24, 2016, Sony announced the establishment of Forward Works, a new studio dedicated to producing full-fledged games based on the Sony intellectual properties for multiple platforms such as smartphones. So in 2016, they brought SIE out and they said it represents the entire PlayStation brand. My man ran for the hills. He said all that and then just left. Xbox is Microsoft. All of Xbox is Microsoft, but all of Microsoft is not Xbox. That's what I mean. Like, whenever they talk about how much Microsoft earns, they do that in a gaming discussion, and it's dishonest. It's dishonest sleight of hand. We don't ever do that for Sony. I've never sat here and did that for Sony and been like, here was Sony's earnings last year. Here's how much Sony made that quarter. No, we talk about PlayStation. We talk about how much the PlayStation games property, first and third property makes. And the Xbox guys come in here and they do that all the time. They want to tout out Microsoft earnings, and it's like, and how much money Microsoft makes and how much money Microsoft has. And it's like, what are you doing? What? It would be like somebody being super duper pro the cartoon Bluey and being like, Bluey's amazing. Bluey generates so much money. And they're like, Disney generated this much money last year. I'm like, what are you talking about? Bluey's on Disney, but Disney ain't Bluey, homie. You can do the same thing with Marvel. Marvel generated X number of billions of dollars. And you'd be like, well, no, you're using the numbers that Disney generated. If you're just talking about Marvel, it would be a smaller number. Well, according to my players, no matter what I'm playing Nintendo. Yo, my man, don't bring Bluey into this. All cats are animals, but all animals are not cats. Yeah, it's a logical fallacy. It's a logical fallacy to be like, yeah, all cats are animals, but you don't call every animal a cat. Microsoft Windows and Microsoft Office and all the money that Microsoft generates, every time we have these discussions, I got to hear about how much money Microsoft has and how much money Microsoft makes. And I'm like, shut the frick up. It has nothing to do with it. This Sony PlayStation, like, hair splitting, it sounds exactly the same. It's like you're trying to create something that's like, no, it's all the same. Part of the Sony revenue is starting to catch up with the gaming side. Fair trade to them. That's a great looking Dalmatian cat. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. The dad in that show makes life really hard for some of us. My kids always want to play games inspired by Bluey, and I just get so sick of them. They're all the same. I'm like, stop. I don't want to play any Bluey games. Like, I had to start saying that. I was like, I don't want to play any Bluey games. I'm friggin' done. Like, please, no more. I have to play Magic statues with my kids all the time. They always want to play statue. I'm like, I'm so tired of playing statue, man. What's the price hike talk? There was a recent earnings reveal about PlayStation having a bad fourth quarter. They were talking about how they foresee the future earnings going down as well. Like, a lot of people are looking at the next couple of, like, at least the next year and saying that things are going to go down. And so they wouldn't comment on whether or not they would increase the price of the PlayStation 5, is what they said. And so many people were like, oh, that means they might price hike. I said, I don't think it's likely, you know, but people think it might happen. We also talked about how it probably wouldn't hurt demand because the console's in such great demand that they would likely be okay even if they did it. However, the optics on it might be pretty poor, given how many people are like, I've been waiting all this time to buy one and I can't. You let all these freaking scalpers buy them, and now I'm supposed to just pay more money just, what, because? So. Show them a Doctor Who episode with the weeping angels, and they won't want to have anything to do with statues again. That may not ever sleep again, but, you know, one problem at a time. That's right. That's right. That's good. Price hiking might be the dumbest thing. Yeah, I don't think it's likely to happen. It's not outside the scope of possibility, but I don't think it'll happen. My daughter wanted to watch a space episode every night where Dingo is sleepwalking and having a bad dream. Yeah, me and my wife and daughter cried over it. Breed shaming, Australian cattle herder are beautiful creatures. All right. Doc just said the game's coming out 2023. I told people it wasn't going to take that long. I was like, it's a battle royale. Scope of the project's not nearly the same size as other games. It's not going to take 5 years to develop a battle royale. I was like, I remember I told people, I was like 2 to 3 years minimum. 2 to 3 years minimum. Now, that could be good. That could be bad. Remains to be seen. But I told folks I didn't think the development cycle was going to be that long. Like, no way. Two to 3 years maximum. Oh, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. You're right. I said that incorrect. Yeah, maximum. Okay. All right, let me get this tweet out. We gotta shift. Okay, let's do this. Let's get this set. Wait, they're calling it Dead Drop with 1D? That's actually kind of cool. Oh, I just realized they're calling it Dead Drop with 1D. Okay. That's so freaking weird. Like, it's creative, but it's freaking weird. Yeah, I gotta change some stuff here. Hang on. I gotta add some terms and keywords. No one's gonna freaking search for that. Way to meme your own game. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to be one more game where everybody misspells the freaking game. Everybody. It drives me dadgum crazy. We were experiencing that with... we experienced that whenever we did the Roller Drome. We were like researching Roller Drome and how to cover it, and like everybody's calling it Roller Dome. And I'm like, oh, for frick's sake. Did you guys research this at all? It's all coming from Dead Drop. Yeah, everything on yours is coming from Dead Drop spelled correctly. What's the percentage? 32%? Thank you, Paul. Dadgummit. I'm about to change the freaking title. Ugh. I appreciate that, Paul. NFT shooter, yeah. All right, so let me get set here. All right, we're ready to look at the gameplay. I will put a link in chat so you guys, if the redirect doesn't work, we are set for redirect. Autocorrect goes to Dewdrop. I actually think it's a super creative name. I don't know why you wouldn't just go with Dead Drop. It's probably easier to get like copyrights and trademarks on a totally made up name though, right? Like Dead Drop as one word with only one D. It was probably a lot easier for them. Have you watched this yet? Yeah, I watched it. I think it'll be fun to break it down. I literally grabbed all their assets and their media kit, and I didn't catch that there was only one D. I just didn't catch it. Dead Drop gameplay is available and viewable to the public. If you're not aware, the Dead Drop game is basically the Dr. Disrespect game from the Midnight Society game studio. We'll be taking a look at some of the gameplay. Paul's Gaming, he's actually a member of our community. He's been hanging out for a really long time. You probably hear me debate with him all the time. He actually has a video that's done very well on YouTube. It's like over 20,000 views or something like that. We're going to be looking at the gameplay and breaking it down. If you like my streams and my talk shows, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. The spelling of Dead Drop is a little different too. It's not two words. It's not two words smacked together. It's literally Dead Drop with just one D in the middle. And I'm going to bring everybody over from our PlayStation 5 Price Increase stream. We talked about that this morning, the